playoff Highland Conference football schedule. Football is back and on the gridiron here on 107.9 CDY. Thrilled to be here. Thrilled to have you listening. It has been anything but a normal 2020, but for these young men on both sides of this field, a bit of normalcy as they get to go out there, run around, and bang helmets a little bit. No, they can't bang helmets. That's not even right. Alongside my longtime broadcast partner, good friend and all-around Renaissance man, Gary Hawkeye Vanna. I am merely Jay Simon. Hawkeye, this is your radio debut. You missed last week for a very good reason. Family in town. Lars stepped in, did a decent enough job, but boy, if I had a dime for everybody that told me where was Hawkeye, when are we getting Hawkeye, I want to listen to Hawkeye, man, I'd have a good handful of dimes.
So I'm glad to hear that, and thank you so much for that introduction. Hey, just a little update. My brother's family came in from just outside San Francisco, where the smoke is so bad, they're not even allowed to go outside being quarantined in COVID, but they also have to be in the very house itself. Came out here 1 week and they go, this is kind of nice being able to breathe the air, be able to walk a mile and not see anybody. They actually have skipped their flight and they're staying another 2 weeks. But I said, you know what? I love you, but I got football to go on too. And this football is, you don't realize how important this football game is or this weekend, because this is when the midgets start. Up until last week, school felt very dead. You had no school spirit. You had no anticipation for really anything. It was a drudgery. It was like gray, I guess, everywhere, because you had to wear these masks. You had to go to your classes. Social distance, rule.
Yep.
And then today, middle schools, high school, elementary, spectered with football jerseys. You saw it in the kids' behavior. Anticipation was up. The attitude was up. Morale was actually up. And win or lose, the fact that we start to get going again regular Friday nights is just a beautiful thing.
It is absolutely a beautiful thing. Speaking of beautiful things, it is a beautiful night here in McBain. Perfect weather. Should cool off just a little bit as we get to game time. We're in just a few minutes of the national anthem and start of this one. The Ramblers are actually nowhere to be found at the moment. The Rambler cheerleaders down in front of us on the track. The Evart Wildcats have made the trip here for this. Week 2 would have been week 5 under normal circumstances, but of course, nothing about 2020 has been normal. But this Evart Wildcat team, Hawkeye, we don't know a whole lot about them. Danny Whitback, we believe, is back as the starting quarterback, so there's some consistency there under center. But one thing we do know about any Pat Craven coach team is they will be very tough. And the battle in the trenches is going to be key, probably.
That very much is going to be true. And I was going to actually, I don't know if you do any gambling, but I was going to throw a gambling odd at you. 2.5's the number. Number of trick plays Craven will pull against the Ramblers.
I'm going to take the under only because you said 2.5. I believe it's going to be 2. Okay. So I'll take the under. If you had said 1.5, I'd have gone over. I was tempted to take the over. But, yeah, that's another great point. Craven loves to pull out some, as who was the broadcaster, loved trickeration.
Yes.
Can't even remember who said that, but
last year they came out against the Ramblers opening drive with a hook and ladder play that went for a touchdown, followed that by another trick play, and then ended up with a pick 6. And McBain found themselves in a hole very quickly. So Evart knows they can battle and hang with these Ramblers, but last week, boy, a different Rambler team came out.
Oh, absolutely. A 30-0 shellacking over their neighbors to the north to bring back home after a 5-game absence, 3-game regular season absence, the Misaki Sentinel Trophy. The Ramblers beating the Lake City Trojans, and you had told me in a text going into that game that you thought defense was going to be the strength of this team.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
It was, without question.
So I got a quick question for you. We haven't talked this out there. Are we going to go to the commercial, or are we going to listen to McKenna?
We're going to stay right here for the national anthem.
Let's
absolutely.
Sing.
Yes.
So McKenna,
we are staying right here.
High school senior.
Not to put any pressure on her, but she will be on the radio.
While senior McKenna Gildy.
Here we go. Let's listen in.
Our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you say by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight? voiceless gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we march, were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets bursting in through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the lands of the free and the
Wow. That was absolutely fantastic. We had two members of the highlighters in here last week doing the national anthem, and McKenna, what's her last name?
Gildy.
McKenna Gildy belting out a fantastic rendition of the national anthem here in McBain. McBain, that is fantastic stuff. Coming to you live from the Northern Truck Service broadcast booth. This is the Pluger Mechanical pregame show, licensed and insured for all your new installations, HVAC services, and light plumbing. Call Aaron or his brother Brad, 282-3194.
And if you can't get a hold of them, feel free to hit up Drew Vanna, the brand new employee
Oh my.
of Pluger Mechanical, and he'll get the message across.
I'll repeat the number I usually do, 282-3194. Our thanks to Northern Truck Service and Pluger Mechanical, along with all of our broadcast partners, for allowing us to bring this contest to you. Don't forget, head over to 107.9Wcdy.com. If you are leaving our listening area, you can listen to us anywhere where you got a solid internet connection. The streaming of McBain Rambler football brought to you by McLean Transmissions. The Ramblers will be kicking off to start the contest. Want to remind you real quick, you're listening to WCDY, McBain Cadillac, Lake City. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Matt Jackson dialing it up back in the studio for us and making us sound as well as Matt can do. Ramblers will kick off. Short kick, bounces around the 25, scooped up by the Wildcats and brought back just shy of the 30. That was Braden Cass on the return.
23 at the ball.
Yeah, nice big tackle on that one by Bonico. Brant did a great job of wrapping him up, and we have a good kicker, and we're still doing the coffin kick, or the short kick.
That has everything to do with Coach Maloney's nightmares of opening kickoffs returned for touchdowns. He's just never going to give somebody that opportunity ever again. Wildcats with the ball, starting off at their own 28-yard line. Going left to right across your radio dial in their road white jerseys with blue pants. They send a man in motion. This is Whitbeck, wants to throw right away. Whitbeck off of it. His arm was coming forward, but the ball came out as he tried to pull it back. I guess no tuck rule in high school football, and so the Ramblers will take over at the 24-yard line of Evart.
Yeah, great play right on that one, as Jesse Sikkema comes up with the loose egg and puts McBain in business.
Ramblers come out in that full house backfield we saw last week. Senior-laden backfield, and another one. Great run across the 15-yard line. Finally brought down is Caden McGillis. That'll be a first down at the 13-yard line of Evart.
Inside the 25-yard line to the 23.
You know, you got to be impressed with the holes this offensive line is able to push, especially when you are starting three sophomores on the line. Excuse me, we got two on the line, two sophomores.
Deacon Dottie under center. He'll hand it off to Rodenbaugh. Daniel Rodenbaugh trying the middle. Will power his way to around the 10. It's kind of been Rodenbaugh typically has the carries between the tackles, and they use Austin Ealing and McGillis bouncing around out the outside. Rodenbaugh had a couple of big, long touchdown runs right through the gut. Once he gets to that second level, there aren't too many secondary guys that are going to bring him down.
Now I wonder if Little Little bro McGillis is going to get the ball this time.
Calvin McGillis now in the backfield. He is going to get the handoff. Calvin makes a cut inside the 5, powering his way forward.
That's good.
And no, they are calling him down.
6, Calvin McGillis, the ball carrier.
And it will be first and goal, stopped at about the 2-yard line.
It's going to be first and goal for McBain at the 2-yard line.
Forgot to mention that run by Caden McGillis earlier, a Fium first down.
So is the one by Calvin. Another Fium
It is
first
another
down.
Fium first down. First and goal now from the 2. Dottie trips, hands it off to Calvin, and Calvin will power it in. Touchdown, Ramblers. Calvin McGillis with the 2-yard touchdown run. Puts the Ramblers up 6-0, and as we saw last week, it's been several years, Hawkeye, since the Ramblers had a kicker that head coach would trust. And Tristan McElhinney earned that trust last week with a 30-yard field goal and 4 out of 5 extra points, or 3 out of 4 extra points. And this kick is good.
So you know what I find really interesting?
He went back to right-footed. That's what I find interesting.
Calvin McGillis scored the touchdown, right? And what does the running back usually done when they get done when they score the touchdown? You go play center and do the long snapping for the extra points.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. So the Ramblers now take the early 7-0 lead. 10:33 to go here in the opening quarter. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
7-0 with 10:33 to go here in the opening quarter at McBain High School. Ramblers with the lead over the Evart Wildcats. Week 2 of the abbreviated 2020 high school football season. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Matt Jackson turning the dials for us in the studio. The Hall of Famer Harv Lucas, hard to our right. He will oftentimes tell you the down and distance before I get the chance to do so. Are you upset because I didn't call you a Hall of Famer?
Matt, sweet
I'm sorry.
chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. We did decide
Jackson.
on a nickname. Hawkeye loves to give everybody nicknames, and Matt is no exception. Now the kickoff from McElhinney is left-footed. This will bounce and be scooped up just outside the end zone, and room to run. We got 2 flags, and now tripped up is number 19, Bryant Calderon.
19, Bryant
And
the ball carrier.
Calderon, that ball bounced in front of him, went through his hands. He picked it up at the 1. He almost had his foot on the goal line. And we have 2 flags on the field, which is impressive because there's only 3 officials. So that means whatever it was fairly blatant. 2/3 of them threw flags.
13.
It's going to be against the Wildcats, and it is a hold. Block in the back.
Preliminary signal from
I hate to be ignorant, but is there a reason why there's only 3 officials?
Yes.
Is it COVID
It's
rules?
called 2020. Yeah, the at least.
Or is it no one wants to?
No, there's at least one of the officials who would have been available has to deal with quarantine, and so 3 is what we get.
Because I thought there's traditionally 5.
Ball's
Yes.
on the 7-yard line of Evart.
Penalty will take it back to the 7-yard line, so that's where Evart will start. 10:26 to go here in the opening quarter. 7-0 McBain. 4 receivers set for the Wildcats. Whitbeck in the shotgun, hands it off. This is Calderon taking it around the left side. Not much there. Tried to turn up field at the 5, and he may have actually lost
Looks like a loss of
a little bit there.
It'll be 2nd down and 11.
What I find interesting, Hawkeye, I'm looking, there's really no line judge. So they're issuing, the head linesman, I guess, is, all right, so they do have a head linesman, a ref, and a back judge is what they're going with the 3. They're spread out a little bit. Doing their best, absolutely.
Boy, you know, being an official is a hard enough job. Doing it undermanned.
Yeah, that's tough. Whitbeck out of the shotgun will hand it off, and nothing doing. Whitbeck, for his trouble, took a shot from Matt Utek, who came flying through the line. After the handoff, got dragged down. Did not see who he even handed it off to. This is the far end of the field. A little difficult to see numbers.
Third down and 13.
But it is a loss back to the 5.
Number 51.
I want to say Cole Hopkins got the handoff before he got just destroyed by Jesse Sycamore.
I don't know who's that.
Third and a long 13 now. Whitbeck with a single back in the backfield. He's got 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Sorry, trips to his right. Wants to throw from his own end zone over the middle. And I don't know if some feet got tangled, but Calderon was the intended receiver directly over the middle of the field, and he led him just a little too far. So it's going to be 4th down and 13 now for the Wildcats, Hawkeye, and now they'll be punting from the back edge of their end zone.
I've never seen the centers.
Now they do the rugby style kick, if I remember correctly.
He's done
I
that.
think you might be right. I believe that's Hayden Simmer. I'll have to double check the number. But he is about 3 steps inside. Nope, straight up punt, and it's a great one. Wow, Caden McGillis will take this all the way back at the 47-yard line of the Wildcats. Stiff arms one man to the ground, gets the left edge. McGillis at the 40, 30. McGillis finally dragged down just outside the 25-yard line. A great run back, brought down by Donovan Bolowski.
On the 20.
But that was a beautiful punt from the back edge of the end zone.
18, Brian Calderon.
Yeah, McBain did a great job, and Brock Maloney, he actually blocked 3 different people, and he realized that really you don't have to do much of a big block if you're leading. You just have to get the guy off the line of track, and you let McGillis use his wheels to get around that corner. And if you cut off their angle, then you will have good success, and that's what he ended up doing.
8:56 remaining here in the opening quarter. Ramblers with the ball with great field position again at the Evart 27-yard line. Ramblers going right to left. Come out with 1 wing and a 2-back set. Here's a pitch for Rodenbaugh around the right edge. Rodenbaugh cuts inside, got a nice block on the outside from Caden McGillis. Turns it up over the 20-yard line, brought down, looks like right around the, we'll call it the 18-yard line. Well, we'll call it the 17-yard line. It's going to be really close. 2nd and about 1 now for the Ramblers.
Number 32, Cole Hopkins.
Full house backfield this time, and that is Calvin McGillis in the backfield along with Rodenbaugh and big brother Caden. Caden's going to get the carry and tripped up. Nice job getting penetration and getting low by Bryant Calderon, whose name I've called like 5 times now already, offensive and defensively.
3rd down and 1.
Got under the block, tripped up McGillis,
Number 19, Brian
and
Calderon.
stopped him maybe even a loss of a half a yard.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out for all you fans that wish you could be here and can watch it. You actually can watch it even though it's not live. You can go to the YouTube channel Rambler Review, and you can watch all the action as Superintendent Steve Preisler is doing right now. He's watching on Rambler Review, but of course he's listening to us.
He's listening to you. Handoff is Rodenbaugh. Rodenbaugh picking his way through and powering his way over the 15-yard line. He's got enough for the 1st down. Well, there you go.
Number 34.
When you need those couple of tough yards, Daniel Rodenbaugh is usually the number you will call. He is a load to bring down, and he proves it again there. 1st down, a Fium 1st down for McBain at the Evart 13-yard line.
Dan Rodenbaugh's nickname is the Ford F-150. So the Ford F-150 for the Freon 1st down.
That's just too much alliteration, even for me. Dottie will hand this off to the younger McGillis, and he's going to get stacked up. Several white jerseys in on the tackle. They'll take him back to the 14-yard line, loss of a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and 11 now for the Ramblers. Do we know anything about Austin Ealing? Is he? I see him on the sideline.
First Johnson, along number 63.
Getting the start here offensively.
No.
2nd down and 11 for
You're the one that usually knows any of that stuff. That's why I asked. 6:55 and ticking to go here in the opening quarter. Ramblers come out again with a single wing look. You've got Caden McGillis and Rodenbaugh in the backfield. Calvin McGillis lines up as the wing to the near side. Dottie will pitch it to Rodenbaugh. They'll run it this way. Rodenbaugh trying to get around the edge and lowers the pads again. I have to call the name of Bryant Calderon, who puts the shoulder into Rodenbaugh to knock him out of bounds at the 10. 4-yard pickup.
Number 19, Brian.
And that'll make it
It's gonna be
3rd and 7 now for the Ramblers.
But one of the philosophies that Maloney's really trying to go with this year is play as many kids as possible to keep your legs as fresh as possible in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah.
So what I would assume he's doing is he has Ealing because he is such a dynamic force on the defense, and he wants him to stay explosive all 4 quarters. He may be giving him a little bit of a blow.
Dottie hands it off to Calvin McGillis. McGillis picking his way over the 5-yard line, kind of chop-stepping his way around white jerseys. Brought down right around the 3. It's going to be very close to a first down, and actually it is going to be a Fium first down. 1st and goal now for McBain.
Number 21, Donovan Volosky.
6.5 minutes to go. Quickly, Ramblers to the line. Full house backfield now for Dottie. He'll give it to McGillis. Can he get in? And he does. Touchdown, Ramblers. Calvin McGillis with his 2nd touchdown run of the night.
I'm trying to find out who the long snapper is.
And Tristan McElhenney will try to go 2 for 2. He's got the tee. I thought his last kick, the left-footed kick last week, was without the tee. I think he likes to have the grass. Hawkeye, as mentioned, Calvin McGillis, the long snapper right after scoring the touchdown, and that one no good. They're saying missed that one to the left. So I would assume, Hawkeye, that means Tristan will kick this next one left-footed. 6:20 to go here in the opening quarter. McBain leads it 13-0. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Matt Smooth Chocolate?
Yes.
Jackson turning the dials for us back in the studio. You can't hear him, but Matt has an absolutely impressive baritone. I expect him to replace me any week this year. Listen to that kid read the phone book.
For McBain, number 5.
Turning the dials for us back in the studio. Our producer and engineer, under the watchful eye of Rich Spicer, although Rich might be taking a nap. Matt's been doing such a great job. Ramblers have a 13-0 lead here in McBain over the Evart Wildcats, as Tristan McElhenney will try his left foot for a kickoff. Little chip shot is going to be taking it around the 22-yard line. This is Braden Cass, and Cass bouncing it out to the right side, has McElhenney to beat, and McElhenney wraps him up. Nice open field tackle by Tristan McElhenney to save a touchdown, because I am pretty sure Cass was about to turn the Jets on. McElhenney, though, with a great tackle, but the Wildcats, with excellent field position, will take over at the Rambler 42-yard line.
Good for him. How he knows.
Oftentimes, when you're running that ball back, Hawkeye, you see the kicker and your eyes light up. Not that time.
No, he's quite an athlete. You see him on the basketball court.
Yeah.
And you know he's got quickness, skills, and toughness.
Whitbeck with 3 to his left is going to keep this himself straight up the middle. Whitbeck, room to run, makes a man miss. Cutting back, makes another man miss. Another juke move, and he's inside the 30. Ball's on the turf. And the head linesman is pointing to the ground to indicate he was down, I believe. So this is going to remain Evart football, and it'll be a first down at the 25-yard line. 17-yard pickup by Whitbeck. Probably ran 40 yards on that one.
Yeah, he spun around some Ramblers out there. I mean, I don't know if this is Motown, but we had 4 tops going out there as the Ramblers kept on spinning around and around and around trying to catch him.
Trips to the left for Whitbeck. Single back. One receiver to his right. Whitbeck with an option to his right. He'll flip it outside. And McGillis trying to tackle him from behind with some help. Will finally drive Cole Hopkins out of bounds. but not before Hopkins gets across the 20 up to the 16-yard line. We'll give him the 17-yard line, gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. I just feel like I'm echoing the Hall of Famer when I do that.
You know, McBain's got to be careful they don't get a penalty. Look where the players are.
Are they too far down? They're not supposed to be past the 25, right? They outside the box, or the box extended now?
Maybe it is for social distancing.
Yeah, could be. Whitbeck making the pass and nearly getting a tackle in the backfield.
UTEC had
Was
him.
Matthew Utek, who got inside, got low, but could not quite wrap up Bryant Calderon. Calderon bounces it to the outside, but he's still going to be dropped
Brian Calderon, the ball carrier.
for a bit of a loss. They're going to mark this at around the 18-yard line, so it'll be a loss of 1. It'll be a 3rd and long 3, just to disagree with Harv.
Yeah, and UTEC may miss the tackle, but he sure took away any head of steam that
Absolutely.
Calderon could have had coming around the corner.
Trips to the right again for Whitbeck. Shotgun formation. Brings his running back to his left side. Fakes the clap. Gives another. And this is going to be tackle in the back. Whitbeck keeps it, though, and then dives forward. UTEC bursting into the back was basically tackling both Whitbeck and Cole Hopkins. Whitbeck smartly pulled it out of Hopkins' breadbasket, kept it himself, but then UTEC's teammates cleaned up and brought Whitbeck down in the back. So Matt UTEC, I don't know what he's doing on that line, but they just can't keep him out of the backfield tonight. That's going to bring up 4th down now, back at the 22-yard line. So it was a loss of 4, so this is going to be 4th and about 7 now. Whitbeck in the shotgun, trips to his right. They're in the maroon zone, no doubt going for this, and now we're going to get a timeout from head coach Pat Craven. 4:15 to go here in the opening quarter. 13-0 McBain, a big 4th and 7 at the Rambler 22-yard line coming up. We'll be back right after this.
SRM Concrete is family owned and all about community. That's why they're supporting this broadcast. SRM Concrete was founded in 1999 with one singular goal: to provide superior ready-mix concrete service for your commercial and residential projects. With locations across northern and central lower Michigan, there's an SRM Concrete near you. From order to on-time delivery, the SRM Concrete team guarantees you'll be thrilled. Quality concrete, unmatched service. That's SRM Concrete.
Logo.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. 4:15 to go here in the opening quarter, week 2 of the high school football season. The abbreviated high school football season would have been week 5. Instead, it is week 2. Ramblers will play 5 Highland Conference contests, and then they will go to Manistee to close out the season. Defeated Lake City last week, 30-0. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Hawkeye, everybody makes the playoffs.
Everybody does make the playoffs, but hosting is going to make a big deal because you support the senior class in concessions.
There you go. Trips to the right again, 4th and 7 as Whitbeck sends a man in motion. Might be trying to get the Ramblers to jump as he fakes the clap a couple times. Now he'll go back to pass. Whitbeck fires to the left and has a man, and that's going to be a 1st down. What a throw. Again, Hawkeye, UTEC coming in. They managed to get him out wide. Whitbeck stepped to his left away from him and hits Hayden Simmer in the left flat for a 1st down. Great throw by Danny Whitbeck. So the timeout works. 1st down now at the 12 for the Wildcats. Whitbeck again in the shotgun. This time he sends Calderon in motion the other way. Looking to his right, firing too high through the hands of his intended receiver, Braden Cass, and then off the hands of Caden McGillis. And falls at the back of the end zone. Incomplete.
I hate to correct you.
No, feel free. I saw McGillis, so I wasn't sure if it was him.
It's Brock Maloney that the ball went through the hands of number 1.
3:51 to go here in the opening quarter. 13-0 McBain. Wildcats, though, are knocking on the door. 2nd and 10 now from the Rambler 12. Whitbeck. Cole Hopkins in the backfield with him. They send Calderon in motion again, coming to the near side as the Wildcats go left to right, and we're going to get a flag.
A rock.
Flag on the field.
Some number in blue and white.
Did we get a little
procedure against the Wildcats.
Got a little bit of a rock from somebody on the offensive line, as Hawkeye said, so the 5-yard penalty is going to send the Wildcats back to the 17 and make it 2nd and 15 now.
Now you have to remember, this Wildcat team is a good team. They gave Beale City everything they wanted last week before they fell short, 20-26.
Whitbeck again, trips to his right. Back to pass, plenty of time. Firing out to the right sideline. He's got a man wide open, and then a nice open field tackle by Daniel Rodenbaugh. Pierce Johnson with the catch. Trying to kind of hit him on the sideline, let him kind of curl around his fellow receiver who had a good block, but Rodenbaugh able to track him down, and that'll be marked right around just inside the 10. We'll call it the 10. That'll make it 3rd and about 8 now for the Wildcats. 3:20 to go here in the opening quarter as the clock continues to tick. Shotgun again for Whitbeck. Trips to his left this time. Whitbeck wants to run the whole way. Runs to his right. Has an opening. Whitbeck powering through one tackle, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Wildcats. Run in by the quarterback. Number 12.
First time this defense has been scored on all season.
Yes, it is.
And one is high-scoring quarter.
Makes it 13 to 6.
Who's kicking?
And it looks like we will have a kick attempt from Preston Wallace. So Whitbeck will hold. Is that 53 or 13?
I got 63.
63.
63.
Reese Ransom, perhaps. Extra point attempt. Good snap. Good hold. And Ransom gets underneath it. Calvin McGillis catches it out of the air in the end zone. And the extra point, no good. So with 3:09 remaining here in the opening quarter, the Ramblers have a 13-6 lead over the Evart Wildcats. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
We've all been there. We rely on our vehicles more than ever to get us where we need to go, safe and sound. McBain Auto Service is open Monday through Friday and are fully licensed and insured to serve you. With over 50 years combined experience, they specialize in everything from brakes to engine repair with no job too big or small. Stop in for a safety inspection. McBain Auto Service, located at 9438 South Maury Road in McBain, or call 231-825-2729.
13-6, the McBain Ramblers lead the Evart Wildcats here at McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna making his radio debut here in this football season. Lars, Mr. McBain Fredine, no doubt back at home, chewing his fingernails in nervousness as he usually does when he listens in. Unless there's like a 4-touchdown lead. I think then he relaxes.
It starts to.
Maybe.
Prepare to kick off for Evart.
Matt Jackson turned the dials for us back in the studio. The Evart Wildcats, well, an impressive short drive. Got a great field position at the Rambler 42-yard line after a nice run back by Braden Cass. And quarterback Danny Whitbeck on the run the whole way, punches it in from 10 yards out. Kickoff is taken by Austin Ealing at around the 25-yard line. Ealing takes it up over the 35 and brought down at about the 30, we'll call it the 30. The Ramblers are going to spot it.
First and 10. Number 4.
Ramblers put a ball down, and
Larry on the stop for Wildcats.
the officials are still chatting. That must be the official spot. We'll call it the 38. .305 remaining here in the opening quarter. Full house backfield for the Ramblers as Rodenbaugh comes up to Dottie to get some last moment instruction.
McGillis bookends on the wing tee.
Dottie under center will hand it off to Caden McGillis. Caden McGillis rumbling around the left edge. Will drag a couple white jerseys forward to just shy of the 45-yard line. Boy, I will say, Hawkeye, that Caden makes me just a smidge nervous the way he holds that out in that right hand. He does not tuck that ball as he runs through traffic.
Number 23.
No, I think it's just a natural track type of running for him where he doesn't keep the arms as close to the body as he needs to.
Nose of the ball just shy of the 45. We'll give him 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Yeah, like he wants to have that open hand, Carl Lewis type running style.
Evart has 10 players within 3 yards of the ball.
Rodenbaugh straight up the middle, through the line with a hole, and he is into Wildcat territory and has a first down for the Ramblers at around the 43-yard line of the Wildcats.
Right now, Everett's not concerned about the pass whatsoever, and they're packing everybody in tight. They want to try and outmuscle McBain at the point of attack, but if McBain can sneak through a crease there is nothing in the second level that can stop the running back.
Yeah, I've never seen a 4-6 look, but there's a handoff up the middle. Is this Rodenbaugh again? It is, and Daniel will take it across the 40 to about the 37-yard line.
37-yard line. Gain of 6 on the
Make it
play,
2nd and 4.
19.
Minute 50 remaining here in the opening quarter. Dottie under center. Again, full house backfield. This time it's Calvin McGillis. Calvin McGillis stopped right around the 35-yard line.
The ball carrier inside the 35-yard line.
Kudos, by the way, just to mention, I mentioned earlier that there are just 3 officials. COVID wreaking havoc with the officiating crews and their availability. So we thank these 3 men for being out here and providing the format, the framework for these young men to battle as Rodenbaugh takes the handoff straight up the middle. And Rodenbaugh has an easy first down, brought down around the 30-yard line. As I always say, Hawkeye, the 2 toughest jobs in the universe are mothering and officiating, and I want nothing to do with either one.
Exactly, especially when you're undermanned officiating or underwoman mothering. I don't know where to go with that.
Inside a minute to go here in the opening quarter. 13-6, Ramblers with the lead, looking to add to it. First down at the Wildcat 30-yard line. They set up with a single wing. That's McGillis, and now they try a little counter as McGillis went in motion to the right. They pitch it to Rodenbaugh on the left, and Rodenbaugh, avoiding one tackle, dances his way out of bounds inside the 25-yard line, give him the 22. That'll be an 8-yard pickup, and it'll bring up 2nd and 2 as the clock stops with 39 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Number 19.
2s across the board, 2nd and 2 on the 22. Calvin McGillis will step out, and Austin Ealing will step in. Full house backfield for the Ramblers. Dottie hands it off to Ealing. Ealing cuts back inside. Ealing free. Ealing over the 10. Ealing with 1 man to beat, and he gets dragged down. Whitbeck with a touchdown-saving tackle at around the 5-yard line, but it's going to be 1st and goal for the Ramblers. Austin Ealing with his first carry of the game.
On the stop, number 12.
He sets up the Ramblers.
He came out of that like a caffeinated jackrabbit the way he was bouncing around.
I can't even imagine what that would be like. He's going to get it back. Ealing, and a great tackle.
Austin Ealing, the ball carrier.
Reese Ransom, and then help from Cole Hopkins, drilling him and stopping him at around the 2. I thought he was going to punch it in again.
Goal for the Ramblers at the 2-yard line of Evart.
You know, Ealing is
63. Reese Ransom along with number 32.
politicking for another carry, but that's going to be the end of the first quarter, it looks like, as Coach Maloney willing to let that run down, and they'll move to the other end of the field. 13-6 after the first quarter here in McBain. Ramblers lead the Evart Wildcats. McBain Rambler football on 107.9 CDY. We will take a quick break and be back. Second quarter coming up right after this.
L&J Meat Market offers fresh, locally raised beef, pork, and chicken, specializing in Misaki-made sausages and jerky. L&J Meat Market is a true family operation headed up by Tim and Sandy Genema. Whether you need a hog roast or fresh brats and burgers for grilling, they're here to serve you. Check out L&J Meat Market, 4 miles south of Lake City on M66, or call 231-839-2176. That's 231-839-2176.
Cadillac attorney Ravi Gurumurthy has a law office in Cadillac West. Quality legal services for reasonable fees. Ravi practices law in family law, criminal law, and probate matters. Ravi will take the time to listen to your circumstances and will help you find a solution to your legal matter. He works hard, he tells it like it is, and he's clever enough to get you through your legal hoops and hurdles. Call Cadillac attorney at law Ravi Gurumurthy at 231-577-4822. 231-577-4822.
Broadcasting from the U.S. Army Studios, this is 107.9 CDY. GoArmy.com.
13-6, the McBain Ramblers lead after 1 quarter of play here at McBain High School over the Evart Wildcats. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna with you. Matt Jackson turning the dials for us back in the studio. And the Ramblers are knocking on the door. Austin Ealing coming off the bench with a big run to set up first and goal at the 5. Just got him down to the 2. And now the Ramblers with a second and goal from the 2 as the second quarter gets underway. Coming to you live from the Northern Truck Service broadcast booth. Our thanks to Pluger Mechanical, our pregame sponsor, licensed and insured for all your new installations, HVAC services, and light plumbing. Call Aaron or his brother Brad or Drew Vanna at 282-3194. That's 282-3194. All kinds of broadcast partners that we will be mentioning to you, and you'll hear their spots. We appreciate each and every one of them. Deacon Dottie under center will hand this off to Caden McGillis, and Caden McGillis with a classic Cody King run. 2 yards, fall forward for another 2, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown. Third touchdown by McGillis in this first half. First for Caden.
Yeah, what a great play there. They just went back to fundamental power football, and they were able to get McGillis a small little hole, and that's all he needed to just fall in for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's 6'3". It's not hard. Caden McGillis will be the holder as McElhenney puts this one through.
Extra point is good.
Tristan McElhenney almost casually with the extra point, and the Ramblers enjoy a 20-6 lead here very early in the second quarter. We will keep it right here. Want to remind you, if you're leaving our listening area, head on over to 1079cdy.com. That's www.1079cdy.com. You should see a Rambler football helmet game logo thing over to the right-hand side. Click that. It'll take you to our YouTube channel. And you can listen to us anywhere in the world where you've got a solid internet connection. We've had listeners overseas, all across the country, and a wonderful service provided and brought to you by McLean Transmissions. For anything transmission related, for quality used cars, head on over to McLean Transmissions on LaChance Road between Cadillac and Lake City. Call 779-1394. Ramblers will be kicking off to the Wildcats. Just 4 seconds have ticked off here in the second quarter.
Back deep for Wildcats. Number 19, Brian Calderon, along with number 2, Pierce Johnson, and number 23, Braden Cass.
McElhenney with his bright green shoes. He's always had a good shoe game in basketball, too, if I remember correctly.
Well,
Interestingly, kicks his extra points with his right foot, kicks off with his left. This one will go through the hands of an up man and then is scooped up inside the 30-yard line. And then driven out of bounds is Pierce Johnson, just shy of the 35-yard line. And that's where the Wildcats will take over, trailing 20-6.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 30, near the 35-yard line. It's going to be first down for the Wildcats.
We'll call it the 35. The nose of the ball close enough.
it was nickel dime when they put it in, but it worked.
Danny Whitbeck, the, I believe, senior quarterback. One back behind him, now brings him to his right. Trips to his right, wants to throw to his right, has a man caught at around the 40-yard line, and then a nice open field tackle by Daniel Rodenbaugh. He'll get no more, but give him the 40. It's a 5-yard pickup. It'll make it 2nd and 5. I'll tell you what, Hawkeye, I'm very impressed with the way that young Mr. Whitbeck can sling that to the sidelines. That's not an easy throw.
No, it's not. I mean, you're going for a 5-yard gain, but still a 30-yard throw to just get those 5 yards.
Yeah.
And to throw it on a rope like that is very impressive.
I assume he's a pitcher in baseball.
But I tell you what, it is ideal playing condition right now.
Yeah, it is a beautiful night. Whitbeck with trips to his left. Wants to go on the option and nearly had his head taken off by Matt Utek. And then stumbling out of bounds. Nice run. I believe he's got the first, depending on where they mark him out, was Cole Hopkins. I got distracted, Hawkeye. Lost track of the ball because as Whitbeck pitched that, he had to duck so that Matt Utek didn't break him in half.
And that's about the way it is because, you know, Utek only comes up to his waist.
Well, but I mean, he was a bullet. He came flying in there. Utek has really found some gaps in this offensive line of the Wildcats, but it is a first down at midfield for Evart. Whitbeck will hand it off. This is Calderon on a sweep, and Calderon will get corralled and dropped at about the 45. 5-yard pickup.
Stopped at the 45-yard line.
Now it looks like Ryan Pace has decided to mix things up there as he brings in the Barnacle boys to play Brant to play strong side tackle and Mac to be at the center and daring Evart to try and push those guys around.
And Evart comes out with 2 receivers either way. Whitbeck in the shotgun. Hopkins will step up to his right. He'll send a man in motion. Whitbeck back to throw, looking to his right, firing again, and fingertip. Did he make this catch? He did not. Laying out for it was Bryant Calderon and almost came up with it.
Intended for number 19, Brian Calderon, incomplete. Third down.
Just couldn't quite bring it in. It'll be 3rd and 5 now for Evart. Again, seriously, that ball, I wouldn't be within 50 yards of him trying to throw that out there. That's a frozen rope from Whitbeck.
Yeah. So I noticed that Utek starts off at linebacker position. He dances around, but he's always blitzing. So he's like the 4th lineman who's getting a 3-yard head start.
This time he's on the left side of the line, comes around the edge. Whitbeck on a run all the way. Ramblers got good penetration and stopped anything from happening. And not much there for Danny Whitbeck. No, brought down back at the 48-yard line of the Ramblers, a 3-yard loss, and that's going to make it 4th and about 8 now for the Wildcats with 9:54 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, once again, it's almost like they're waiting to see where Utek is going, and he's dictating to run away from him because he's getting such good penetration. And that one, Landon Ealing was able to secure the other corner and make a great tackle.
Here's a new look. 2 receivers to the right. It's kind of a double wing with the shotgun for Whitbeck.
Hooch kick.
That's trying to get 5. Nope, they're going for this. Whitbeck back to throw. Guns one over the middle and just led his man a little too far. He was bracketed. Pass intended, I believe, for Braden Cass. You had Rodenbaugh underneath. And you had Brock Maloney over top. There wasn't going to be much there. That was a tight window to try and throw into. And that is going to be a turnover on downs, and the Ramblers will take over at their own 48.
Yeah, once again, great defensive stand right there as Whitbeck dropped back, and McBain was not fooled at all. Played smart defense, ready to give up the punt.
Well, and if I know Ryan Pace at all, you know that 6 points is the most he wants to give up in this game.
But actually, it's 6 more than he wanted to give up.
6 more than he wanted to give up, absolutely. But and Maloney's helping him out. They haven't thrown, so they're definitely looking to keep that clock running. Speaking of keeping the clock running, Coach Maloney's going to stop it with a timeout. 9:22 to go here in the first half. 20-6, Ramblers with the lead. We'll keep it right here. Give us a chance to run down some of our broadcast partners who are allowing us to bring tonight's broadcast to you. They include West Michigan Credit Union, McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, the law offices of Ravi Gurumurthy, Ina Store, Classic Chevrolet, McBain Auto Service, Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, SRM Concrete, McBain Lake City Family Pharmacy, McNally's Party Store, and Ebel's General Store. We've also got multiple broadcast partners that are allowing us to bring you some post-game hardware where last week we got to put Lars under pressure. Hawkeye, there's no pressure. Hawkeye's just so used to it that it doesn't bother him at all. But that's why we pay him the big bucks. He will pick those post-game awards, so make sure you stick around for the Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show, where we will have those for you. Out of the timeout, Ramblers going left to right, first down at the 48-yard line, 9:22 to go here in the first half. Deacon Dottie under center, turns, hands it off to Rodenbaugh, and Rodenbaugh will carry a couple of white jerseys on his back over the midfield line, stopped at around the 40, we'll call it the 47. That is, I've always felt that spotting the ball, Hawkeye, was a fairly inexact science as it was. It has become an extremely inexact science tonight as the center for both teams saving the lineman a little trouble. He puts his foot down, they look, put the ball down in that general vicinity, and off they go. Dottie will hand it off. This is Calvin McGillis. McGillis roomed around. McGillis over the 30. McGillis 20, 10. They will not catch him. Calvin McGillis up the right sideline. No laundry on the field. Touchdown, Ramblers. His third score of the night. Bragging rights right now in the McGillis household on this evening.
Yeah, he's having quite a ball game as he is running well, and he, as we said, when you pack 10 inside that box, and if you can get to the second level, especially on the outside, you have a clear path to the end zone, and it comes a foot race.
Big brother Caden will be the holder as Tristan McElhenney will try to add another extra point. Low snap, decent hold. McElhenney with a nice kick and puts him through. So the extra point for the Ramblers is good. And they take a 27-6 lead with 8:40 remaining here in the first half. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this.
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools is looking for the next generation of Ramblers. If you want to give your child the gift of a great education, make McBain Rural Agricultural Schools your school of choice. Every McBain Rambler gets a MacBook or iPad, a strong curriculum, including a variety of vocational programs, great athletics, and access to a brand new state-of-the-art performing arts center. If you want a school that will challenge your child, support your child, and celebrate your child's individuality, visit McBain.org or call 231-825-2165.
27-6, McBain all over the Everett Wildcats here at McBain High School. 8:40 remaining here in the first half. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Matt, my voice is way deeper than yours. Jackson, turn the dials for us back in the studio as the fight song plays over the PA. The Hall of Famer Harv Lucas doing double duty, running some music during the interludes.
That's the next step to normalcy.
Is that what that's the next, the band?
The band.
Yeah. Well, as you and I both would love to see that band out here. We have a vested interest. Oh, you don't have a vested interest anymore? Okay. You have to tell me that story offline sometime. Ramblers will kick off. This is fumbled and then fallen on.
Oh,
I don't know. Did you get it?
Who they're giving it to?
Oh, the Ramblers came up with it. I thought Pierce Johnson was going to be able to jump on it. It hit Johnson in the chest, went forward. He tried to scoop it up on the run, lost it, and then I thought he was going to be able to cover it, but the Ramblers take it away, and McBain will be in business, first down at the Wildcat 27-yard line.
So senior Derek Camphouse, the last of the Camphouse clan to come through, big play and puts McBain in great position for a chance at another score.
Handoff is for Rodenbaugh. Rodenbaugh leaping over his own offensive line.
Daniel Rodenbaugh, the ball carrier. Gain of about 5 yards on the play. Second down and 5 for the Ramblers. 32. On the stop for Everett, number 13.
8:15 remaining here in the first half. That run up to the 22, 5-yard pickup for Rodenbaugh will make it 2nd and 5 as the Ramblers content to let as much time go between plays as possible. Dottie will hand it off. This is Austin Ealing. Ealing cuts inside, and the Wildcats need about 5 white jerseys to push him to the ground finally at around the 15. And they're going to give him the first down. That is a Fiam first down picked up by Austin Ealing.
You know, most running backs have a head in a swivel, but the caffeinated jackrabbit out there, his head goes back and forth faster than a hummingbird's wings.
Who wrote your line for you tonight?
Press box is certainly enjoying Hawkeyes' observations tonight. Handoff is to Rodenbaugh in the middle. Rodenbaugh met quickly at the line, but manages to push his way forward and picks up positive yards.
Looks like a game.
Without the extra lineman, I always have trouble telling. It looks like it's going to give him the 12. It'll be 2nd and 7 now for the Ramblers.
McBain's coming out with an unbalanced line right here as they have 2 tackles on the far side and Brant Bonico, the only offensive lineman on the right-hand side.
Full house backfield behind Dottie. Dottie will give it to Caden McGillis, and the Wildcats with great penetration, able to bring him down. I want to say shy of the line of scrimmage. Actually, might be a yard loss. I'm going to call it the 13.
Now, I can't figure it out because after Deacon Dottie handed it off, he rolled out on a fake pass and no one bought it.
It doesn't make any sense when there's no receivers. Oh, you'd think they'd buy that. It could have been somebody behind him. Well, he sold it really well. 3rd and 8 now, 6.5 minutes to go. As they come out again with that unbalanced line you brought up, Hawkeye, and there seems to be some confusion, enough so that Coach Maloney wants to call a timeout, 2nd of the half by the Ramblers. 6:28 remaining here in the first half. McBain enjoying a 27-6 lead, facing a 3rd and 8 from their own 13-yard line. Coming up at the half, the McBain Hardware halftime show. Hawkeye, do we have a special guest for halftime today? We do not. All right. We enjoyed the visitation from Dr. Steve Preisel last week. He's at home. Maybe we can give him a call in or something. I don't know if we have that capability.
I don't know if we want to mess with the technology on that one.
We don't seem to have much luck when we're trying to broadcast for whatever reason. Coming to you live from the Northern Truck Service broadcast booth. As I mentioned, the McBain Hardware halftime show will be coming up. Stop by, see Ron or Tyler for all your hardware needs. As Gary's brother-in-law will tell you, if McBain Hardware doesn't have it, you probably don't need it. You know, we always say Gary's brother-in-law. I don't know, have we ever named him? Do you actually have a brother-in-law?
I do,
okay.
And no, we never name him.
All right. No, I like that. I don't think we should. Out of the timeout, Ramblers in the full house backfield. Dottie wants to throw. Dottie's got a man wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Ramblers. Brock Maloney pulls in the touchdown pass from Deacon Dottie. And the Ramblers go up 33-6. A little surprise in my voice, I realize, on the passing part. Deacon Dottie wants to throw. Yes, he does. And he connects.
With a perfect passing rating for the season, or the game so far. But Brock Maloney snuck in behind him the way that McBain has just been running power football. You only pass it 5-6 times, but you can get big gains from it.
And that extra point attempt snuffed out. Cole Hopkins comes through the middle, hit him right in the breadbasket. Cole Hopkins could have almost scooped that out of Caden McGillis' hands. So the extra point, no good, but the Ramblers with 6:24 to go here in the first half have a 33-6 lead over the Evart Wildcats. We'll take a 30-second break and be back right after this.
FIAM is family, and like football, FIAM is also teamwork. The FIAM team invites you to take a tour of their plant. Drop in any Tuesday through Friday and see how joining the FIAM family is a great move. FIAM has full and part-time positions available on all 3 shifts. Visit FIAM at 1550 Leeson Avenue. FIAM is a proud supporter of this McBain Ramblers broadcast. Go Ramblers! From FIAM Technologies in Cadillac.
Well, it's nice to have somebody on screen.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon, Gary Hawkeye Vanna with you. Matt Jackson back in the studio. Rich Spicer, so much confidence in young Matt Jackson. He has left the building. Hawkeye, Matt is on his own. Well, not completely on his own. There's a board op on the other side. You know why? Because Bill Barnett is on the air tonight over on 107.1 The Drives. The Cadillac Vikings are in Gaylord, I believe. Yes, they are. So there's another person in the building, but
I thought you were going to do one of those ancient references about Rich Spicer has left the building.
Right. No, well, but he has.
But yes, but referring back to Elvis.
Ramblers, McElhenney, left-footed kick. Gosh, he really does a nice job. I'd miss it every time with the left foot. Scooped up by Pierce Johnson. Johnson will take it up the middle and piled on at around the 35-yard line, and that's where Evart will take off.
You know, he was looking up and he had lots of room to run there, and all of a sudden he didn't pay attention to the ground, but about 3 feet above the ground in a vertical position came screaming through there was Landon Ealing, and he was able to cut him off at the knees, and finally the rest of the Ramblers finished him off. But boy, Landon, he was vertical when he came through there and really chopped him at the knees and slowed everything down.
33-6 is our score. 6:16 to go here in the first half. Ramblers enjoying a comfortable lead. Wildcats, though, with the ball. Trips to the right. Nope, sorry, 2 receivers to the right for Danny Whitbeck, the senior quarterback. Back to pass with time. Throwing underneath and a little screen picked off. What an interception. And driving forward inside the 10, finally brought down. What a circus catch by Derek Camphouse, who reached out and picked off the screen pass attempt for Cole Hopkins. And then Rumble got a block, gets inside the 10, first and goal now for McBain. With 6:03 to go, that was an impressive sort of one, really got to call it a one-handed catch. He basically brought it in.
Odell did on that one, but what was really impressive is the way he read the screenplay and stopped his pursuit and started to move back a little bit. He was burned, but the pass was a little bit short. He jumped up and he Odell'd the INT.
Number 34, Daniel.
So much to keep track of now.
2-yard line. It's going to be second and goal from the 2.
McBain quickly to the line after Rodenbaugh gets it to the 2. Now Dottie will give it back to Rodenbaugh, and Rodenbaugh trying to basically move 10 people isn't going to be able to do it. I know Rodenbaugh believes he can move 10 people and get into the end zone, but
it's third and goal.
they're going to give him the 1-yard line.
The initial hit on that stop by number 32, Cole Hopkins for Evart.
Clock continues to run down. 5:15 remaining here in the first half. Full house backfield for the Ramblers. Dottie will hand it off inside, and Rodenbaugh this time able to cross the barrier into the end zone. Touchdown, Ramblers.
Nice run there by the Ramblers there. Good push. I'm really liking the blocking that Dwayne DeWitt is doing on the outside at number 9. He is really blowing some people up and making some holes with the linebackers and pushing them back, and they're not liking it when they see that number 9 freight train come their way.
Well, we talked about this a little bit last week, Hawkeye, with Lars, as Tristan McElhenney gets ready to try the extra point. It's a fairly young offensive line, too, as the extra point is good.
But they only had one returning starter from last year's All-American unit. You like how you called them All-American there? Never knew how they were going to figure out how to replace that big gaping hole at left tackle they had last year, but they seem to have found something that is able to hold water.
Well, it is definitely holding water. 40-6 as that backfield is running roughshod over the Wildcats right now. 5:05 remaining here in the first half. Again, don't forget the McBain Hardware halftime show will be coming your way. We're back on the air again next Friday as the Ramblers will go on the road for the first time this season as they head southwest to take on the Pine River Bucks. The Bucks, if I'm not mistaken, are 1-0. They defeated Manton last week, 42-20. They're taking on Beale City tonight. As I mentioned, over on our sister station, 107.1 The Drive. Bill Barnett has the call as the Cadillac Vikings try to stay unbeaten at the
Try to get him to fix it, but
at the Gaylord Blue Devils. McElhenney continuing to confuse me by kicking off with his left after kicking extra points with his right. Will drill this one up the right sideline, and that's going to stay in bounds. It just checks up and then wrapped up. A nice tackle, good hustle to get down there. The tackle made by Karsten Huttinga on Gavin Simmer. And Gavin Simmer was hoping that ball would go out of bounds, Hawkeye, but that thing checked up beautifully, stayed about a yard inside the sideline.
You know, I was listening to your sponsor list, and I'm wondering, by the end of the season, will we have more sponsors than points that McBain has right now? Because, you know what, this community has really came out and rallied to get this, and they realize there are going to be small crowds. And some people are saying, you know, we need this for our community. I don't care if we gain the benefit of it. We need to give this to our community, and a lot of people signed up this year. And we still got room for others that want to continue to give to the community.
Absolutely. Whitbeck in the shotgun alone, 5 receivers. Whitbeck will pull it down, wants to throw, still wants to throw. Now avoids a tackler, and finally falls forward. Wildcats starting on their own 15-yard line. He got close to the 20. I think they're going to mark this, looks like about the 18-yard line. Give him a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Tell you what, though, that Matt Utek motor never seems to stop running, does it? As he was blocked by 3 people, came from behind, continued to chase him, got juked out, still chasing him. You tell you what, that dog does not get away from his bone.
Well, since the Wildcat touchdown, they've turned it over on downs, fumbled a kickoff, and been picked off. So the Rambler defense really stepping up. High snap, handled by Whitbeck, hands it off to Bryant Calderon, and Calderon will make a couple of people miss, and he's got a first down for the Wildcats. Give him the 26-yard line. Nice run from Calderon, where it looked like he wasn't going to have much going there at all.
You know, as I continue to watch this, I just see it looks like Pace has Matt Utek spying Whitbeck, and he doesn't really pay attention to anybody else. And number 12 is his bone, and he will go after him even if he's already handed the ball off.
Yeah, Whitbeck on the right side of the sideline. Whitbeck takes it straight up, and he's got room to run, makes a man miss, sheds another tackler over the 35, just shy of the 40-yard line, and Danny Whitbeck has another first down for Evart. That time they had Utek lined up on the right side of the line, Hawkeye. He came flying up. They blocked him out a little wider, and Utek just went straight up the heart.
Well, you know what's going on is...
Whitbeck went straight up the heart.
The defense is really doing a great job of pursuing. In fact, they're starting to over-pursue, and Everett's trying to take advantage of that.
Here's a screen pass for Calderon, and Utek rides him to the ground just over the 40-yard line. Give him the 42, 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Looks like a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. 2nd down and 7.
You get the impression, Hawkeye, that the Wildcats would love to get Bryant Calderon in space. He seems like a pretty dynamic runner. They send him out wide to the right side. He's in the slot. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the near side. Hopkins in the backfield with Whitbeck. Back to throw. Whitbeck throws underneath. Has a man in and out of his hands. Pass was intended for Donovan Belowski. Belowski had it, but I think he might have heard the footsteps coming from his backside and lost the handle of it.
Yep. Tell you what, that caffeinated jackrabbit sure makes a lot of noise when you're trying to catch a ball.
Having never heard a caffeinated jackrabbit, I have no idea how much noise they make. Oh, my goodness gracious.
They hum like a hummingbird with the wings.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
2 receivers to the right again for Whitbeck. 1 to the near side. Whitbeck back to throw. Has time. Dumps it over the middle and hit. We're going to see a flag. We are not. Boy, he took a shot. I don't know. Maybe the pass just wasn't catchable. Hayden Simmer was the intended receiver. Somebody clipped him.
Well, it looked like Rodenbach came in there to actually try and make the interception.
Looking for the catch.
And got a hand on it. But there was a collision because they were both at the spot about the same time. It was the right call, which is a no call. But that's what I saw happen.
Well, you know, they don't call you Hawkeye for nothing. 4th and 7 now for the Wildcats. 2:44 to go here in the opening quarter. Ramblers enjoying a 40-6 lead. And we're going to get a timeout from the Wildcats. I want to make sure I give credit. Hayden Simmer, who took that shot from Rodenbaugh, is the punter. Had one beautiful punt from his own end zone. And now we'll have to wait through a timeout to see how he does here.
So this is a true story. Last weekend, I went golfing with my family. We went to foursome, and they listened to you guys the night before, and you guys made a couple references or jokes about me. So anyways.
Us?
We were playing
We made jokes about you?
We were playing slow. And a solo came behind us, and he hit the ball right into the woods at Wedgwood. And he's like, I can't find it. And I said, it's right over there. And he goes, good call, Eagle Eyes. And my whole family goes, it's Hawkeye, not Eagle Eye. In fact, I play a lot with Brent Everett, and he says they call me Hawkeye because I hawk all the golf balls out of the woods and fill my pockets full of them.
There you go.
But I have more success going for golf balls than I do morels.
Really? You're not a good morel hunter, huh?
I'm a lousy morel hunter, but I can do great on golf balls.
Oh. It's too bad golf balls aren't edible. Oh, ho, ho.
Hey, you. Hey, try and keep the shots above the belt line for the rest of this night.
Getting rough in the press box. 2:44 to go here in the first half. Out of the timeout. Simmer back to punt, and we've got a flag and movement all over the place. I don't know. Yep, it's going to be a false start on Evart.
Against the Wildcats.
All kinds of people moving on the line. Just wasn't sure who was guilty first, and it's going to be the Wildcats. That'll take them back to the 37-yard line. It'll be fourth.
You know, when you see something like that,
and about 12.
It's actually the center who didn't move. It's fault.
Probably true. Yeah. Didn't hear the clap. Wildcats, even in this motion, use a clap to signal the snap. Good snap. And Simmer gets off a decent one, high but short, and a fair catch called for and taken at the 40-yard line for the Ramblers by Daniel Rodenbaugh.
Number 34, Daniel Rodenbaugh.
So McBain will take over at their own 40-yard line with 2:38 remaining here in the first half. Full house bow. Wow, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, you got Dustin McLean in there. You got your up back and UTEC.
Two receivers either way. There's a quick pass out to the left. We got a flag on the play. Caden McGillis going the wrong way. He's getting horse collared and then puts his head down, plows forward, gets over the 45-yard line. But we had a flag on the far side from the back judge.
Yeah, I don't know what flag that would be from back there. Probably a holding or a movement.
He might have seen movement.
A shift?
Telling Maloney, it looked like he made a shift. Yeah, illegal shift on the Ramblers. Came out with two receivers split either way. Dottie in the shotgun. We saw that maybe a half a dozen times last week. Dottie with the completion, but it will get wiped out. And the penalty will take it back to the 35. It'll be first and 15.
Well, I really like the fact that Maloney came out with the quick strike offense here because it's a great time to practice it against some live bodies. As we have a late substitution for Carson Hunniga, trying to get the play there from Daniel Rodenbaugh. Carson Hunniga is an amazing receiver. He's the best hands I've seen since Garrett Verberkmos.
Send Rodenbaugh in motion, and now we got another whistle and another flag. And it's going to be a false start on the Ramblers, so I don't know if Rodenbaugh moved forward before he took off to go in motion. Not sure. No microphone. They don't explain it to us. We don't know for sure.
I think the late substitution took a step to get on the line after everyone had set.
Maybe just a megaphone.
That could very well be.
I just opened a window and shot.
So we'll make it first and 20.
First down at 20 for McBain.
On the edge of a country mile, Ramblers, again, single wing to the right, two receivers left. That wing is Rodenbaugh. They send him in motion. Dottie rolling to his left. Has protection. Throwing late. Has a man open. Caught! Near the 40-yard line of the Wildcats. That is Dustin McLean with the catch. And it is a Fium first down for the Ramblers at the 40-yard line of the Wildcats. That is a 30-yard pickup.
And Doug McLean will go back to the online internet transmission of this game since our streaming sponsor is McLean Transmission. That's his little boy making the big catch.
2:11 remaining here in the first half. First down for the Ramblers. Trips to the right for Dottie. Firing out on a little receiver screen. This is Ealing, splits two, got a head of steam over the 30, dragged down at around the 27-yard line. And is he wearing gold cleats? Are you kidding me, Ealing? That's fantastic. He got up. I was blinded momentarily off the lights as he got off the turf. Wow.
Can I get a little staying alive? Because he's got disco balls on his feet, that caffeinated jackrabbit.
Sure does. My goodness. 14-yard pickup. It's a first down for the Ramblers. It gets inside, 1:50 to go. Dottie in the shotgun wants to throw again. Again underneath. He's got McLean. McLean rolling to his left is going to get hit and driven back. And the progression will give him about the 23-yard line. That's a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 7. Minute and a half to go here in the first half.
Well, it looks like Dottie's only doing single reads, and he already picks out who he's throwing it to before he even takes the snap.
Yep.
So
he's making accurate throws, though. These have been on the money. He's slinging it. Dottie now in sort of a pistol look. And it's Matt Utek who takes it from the running back position and is tripped up. Nice tackle made by Sam Bailey, but the Utek trying to use that speed he was using defensively on the offensive side of the ball. Takes it over the 20, dropped it around the 18.
On the stop, number 55, Sam Bailey.
Give him a 5-yard pickup. Inside 45 seconds. Dottie wants to throw again. Rolling right. Firing over the middle. Too high for Rodenbaugh.
He had him.
Yeah, dangerous throw at the height because Whitbeck was coming over and was either going to pick that off or blow Rodenbaugh up. Throws that a little bit lower, and that's 6 points for Rodenbaugh. That'll stop the clock. 38.6 seconds remaining. It's going to bring up 4th down and a long yard for the Ramblers.
And that's Deacon Dottie's first incomplete pass.
Sure is. Still in the spread look. 2 receivers either way for Dottie in the shotgun with Utek in the backfield. Throwing to his right. Has a man. That's McGillis. He's got the first down, and McGillis will fall forward to around the 10-yard line. Fiam first down for McBain. Will they move the chains? Or will they call this 1st and goal? They're going to call it 1st and goal at the 10. And
we got one timeout, one winding the clock. I think the ref got confused because the chain game put their things down, but the ball's at the 10, so he was waiting for them to set up.
Dottie throwing for the right corner. McGillis goes up and brings, no, that's Huttinga. Karsten Huttinga goes up and brings it in. Touchdown, Ramblers. What a catch by Karsten Huttinga in the corner of the end zone. Dottie doing a nice job of putting it where only Huttinga can get it.
That's what I told you. Best hands I've seen in a long time in Huttinga, and he goes after the ball to try and catch it. He kind of has the hands of a Berkmos and the attacking mentality of a Gavin Sealand, and he is going to be a great weapon for the offense.
Is he a sophomore or junior?
He's a junior. Okay.
McElhenney will try to add the extra point and pulls it a little bit left. So the extra point is no good, but, whoops, can't write extra point good when it missed. With 22 seconds remaining here in the first half, the Ramblers have a 46-6 lead over the Evart Wildcats. Don't forget, coming up soon, the McBain Hardware halftime show. We'll have some first half thoughts and analysis. We'll also have, for your listening pleasure, the MHSAA, it's like a week in review type thing that you can listen into.
And we're also going to go over some new rules to football this year and creating what Coach Maloney calls the flex player.
All right. Make sure you stick around for that. Well, Hawkeye, we knew the defense was going to have some experienced players. There was some question about the experience on the offensive line, but you had an experienced backfield. You have an inexperienced quarterback, but it all seems to be adding up pretty darn well through 6 quarters. 76-6, the Ramblers have outscored their opponents now.
Yeah, this has really been a dominating performance in this game, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next. But McBain is looking strong and really starting to separate themselves from some of the teams.
McElhenney's left-footed boot will be taken by Pierce Johnson and around his 18-yard line. Pierce all the way across the field trying to get to the right edge, and he can't because he is taken down with a great open field tackle by Caden McGillis. No, that's not.
Judah Leonard.
62. Thank you very much. Judah Leonard with the tackle, getting all the way down and diving to take Johnson down by the legs. Great open field tackle by Judah Leonard.
The starting left tackle.
Yep, one of those interior hogs that doesn't get to have his name said too often unless Hawkeye's giving the offensive line praise. But without him, those fancy boys in the backfield wouldn't get their name called, right?
That's right.
Everett will take over at their own 23 with 16 seconds to go here in the first half. Whitbeck in the shotgun, sends a man in motion. Wants to throw under pressure. Was that you, Tech?
No, that was Brant Bonico.
Brant Bonico coming in.
Quarterback.
He wanted to throw that, and Brant Bonico jumps up and does his best Spider-Man as he goes spread eagle to block as much of the passing lane, and then Whitbeck pulled it back, and Bonico just landed on the ground and decided to bury him.
That will do it for the first half of football here at McBain High School. 46-6, the Ramblers with the lead over the Evart Wildcats. We'll take a quick break and be back. The McBain Hardware Halftime Show is coming your way right after this.
Cover more ground and get more savings on the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick. Gas-powered with a top speed of 40 miles per hour and best-in-class acceleration and handling with cargo, all backed by a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get the Sidekick now for 0 down, 0% APR for 60 months or save $2,700 now through October 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See the Ina store, your Cadillac area Kubota dealer in beautiful downtown Ina.
When it's late, when it's snowing, when you just have to have it. It's nice knowing McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain is open 7 days a week. Locally owned and operated with the friendliest cashiers helping to serve your grocery needs. From candy and chips to pop and munchies, McNally's Party Store, they're still keeping it cold. And wishing the McBain Ramblers good luck in tonight's game. That's McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain, open 7 days a week.
Parents, if your students want to be college or career ready by the end of high school, CTC is the place to be. I'm Troy from the McBain High School, and the Wexford-Mazaki Career Tech Center is preparing me for the jobs of the future. Students from all over the region can choose up to 14 different career-driven programs, with a free associate's degree available in some programs through the 13th year training. Find out more at WMISD.org at the Career Technical Education League and see why CTC is the place to be.
Dawn Fresh Catering is committed to serving fresh, homemade foods with an emphasis on using the great Abel's meats our customers love. Let Dawn Fresh Catering provide the food for your party or event. At Abel's General Store, you'll find a wide variety of grocery products, clothing, gifts, and of course, our signature meats. Family owned and operated since 1920, hometown service is our specialty. Dawn Fresh Catering in Abel's General Store in beautiful downtown Falmouth.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping.
Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Matt Jackson turning the Dallas Force back in the studio. This is the McBain Hardware Halftime Show. We're coming to you live from the Northern Truck Service broadcast booth, and the Ramblers have been trucking all over the Wildcats tonight. 46-6 is your halftime lead, as the two teams have actually the Wildcats sitting in the end zone to the south. Ramblers have left the field. Well, Hawkeye, we knew that defense was going to be a focal point and a strength for this Rambler team, but I'll tell you what, the offense has looked awfully good through 6 quarters this season.
Yeah, that was really impressive to watch how that offense was really starting to roll. The Hogs were dominating the line of scrimmage and giving McBain a drive on every possession. I missed last week's game, so maybe you're going to have to help me out because I haven't yet to see this position yet, but does McBain have a punter, and who is it?
Yeah, it's Rodenbaugh.
Okay.
Yeah, they did punt twice, I believe, last week out of that. He comes in as if he's in the shotgun, takes a few steps back, and then punts. Both of them were relatively short field punts around midfield, so got a good roll on one, and the other one was not memorable. I can't recall what happened to it, but yes, it was a great joke, but they did punt twice.
Okay, thank you.
They just haven't punted tonight.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. I just didn't know.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. As I mentioned, 46-6, run down the scoring for you real quick. Hawkeye does have the iPad of doom, so we do have some statistics for you from the first half. Those would be Bader & Sons greentractor.com stats. Scoring-wise, the Ramblers started off great, got a fumble recovery on the second play of the game from the Wildcats with great field position. Ended up with a 2-yard touchdown run by Calvin McGillis. Extra point from Tristan McElhenney was good. The Ramblers went up 7-0 following a punt by the Wildcats. McGillis again would score, coming from 3 yards out that time. The extra point missed, and it was 13-0 Ramblers. The Wildcats then put a nice drive together, got a good run back to the 42-yard line of McBain, put a drive down to the 10, and then Danny Whitbeck, the senior quarterback, ran it in from there. Extra point was no good, and it was 13-6 after the end of the first quarter, and from there it has been all Ramblers. McBain took the ball back from their own 38, drove the length of the field, got a 2-yard touchdown run from Calvin McGillis, the older of the two McGillis brothers in this contest. McElhenney's extra point made it 20-6. Turnover on downs by the Wildcats gave the Ramblers the ball right back, and on the second play from scrimmage, Calvin McGillis burst up the right sideline to take it to the house, and a 27-6 lead after the McElhenney extra point. The Wildcats would fumble the ensuing kickoff, and the Ramblers would convert with the short field. A touchdown pass, Deacon Dottie from 13 yards out, connecting with Brock Maloney. Extra point was off the mark, and it was 33-6 Ramblers. Then the Ramblers got an interception, a very athletic interception. Derek Camphouse picking off a screen pass attempt, rumbling down to the 5-yard line, and then Daniel Rodenbaugh ran that one in from a yard out. Extra point made it 40-6. And then to finish it off, a 10-yard touchdown pass, Deacon Dottie to Karsten Huttinga in the right corner of the end zone. Extra point off the mark, and that is our 46-6 halftime score. The Ramblers have scored on every possession they have had in this first half and have a 40-point lead. You got some stats there?
No.
Oh, the passcode came up, and you don't know what it is. The iPad of doom keeping Hawkeye out. But it's only 4 digits. Just guess a few times.
All I know, what I can tell you right now is that Deacon Downey was 6 for 8 there.
That sounds
78
about right.
yards. Doing a great job of managing this team. And,
yeah, that passing, that little spread offense in the last 2.5 minutes looked really good.
Yeah, and if you can continue to get his confidence and get those single reads, I mean, a starting quarterback needs to develop a little bit of an eye for what's going on around him. But it gives you a chance to sprinkle more pass plays into the defense when they pack them up tight to try and stop.
Well, the Maloney touchdown pass from 13 yards out was a beautiful one. Maloney didn't have anybody within 10 yards of him. It was set up terrifically. The Wildcats were all in the box looking to stop Rodenbaugh up the middle, and Maloney snuck out. Easy touchdown catch as Dottie put it right on the mark. So it's the kind of thing that can be set up, as you said, and keep teams from putting basically 10 guys in the box against the Ramblers as they go forward on this shortened, abbreviated 2020 season. This is the McBain Hardware halftime show. The other stat that I guess I want to bring up real quick, just to give him a little attention here at halftime. You mentioned that officially Matt Utek only has 2 tackles.
Yeah.
And we can't figure that one out.
That is...
Because we've mentioned his name constantly, but it might be just because he's always in the area or blowing up the play while somebody else finishes it. That might be what's happening a lot. But he's had tackles of the guy that was supposed to get the ball, and then they took it away from him because he was tackling him.
But wasn't there a play out here where he actually tackled 2 guys at once? Isn't that 2 tackles alone?
Because the ball carrier never went down. Ball carrier never went down until it was cleaned up by his teammate. Yeah, absolutely. One play, Danny Whitbeck trying to put it in the breadbasket of, I want to say his running back at the time was Cole Hopkins, and Utek burst through the line, had Hopkins wrapped up as Whitbeck was trying to hand it off to him. Whitbeck pulled it out of his breadbasket, took 2 steps to his right, got drilled by 3 more Ramblers. So Utek has only got the 2 official tackles, but he has definitely been all over the place here in this first half. 46-6, your halftime score. We got a lot of broadcast partners that we are grateful to. As Hawkeye mentioned earlier, there's still time. You can join this train. Give the offices a call, 779-1079 or 876-1079. One of those is the line to ask for music. The other one would be the business line. I just know it ends in 1079. And let them know you want to help support this Rambler run and this abbreviated football season. And you're going to hear from a few more of those here at halftime, the McBain Hardware halftime show, as we let Hawkeye go take care of concessions. Small crowd, obviously, tonight. Might be able to start trickling in a handful more. There was an announcement today, I believe, from Governor Whitmer that might change some of the outdoor stuff as far as percentage of people depending on the venue size and such. So I don't know. I didn't see the details, but 20%. I guess we'll see. 25% outside, isn't it? I think it was 20% for indoors and 25% outside. I don't know what the capacity is here, so I don't know how many people that would be. Of course, right now, as a Zone 4 school, we're allowed 2 tickets or 2 people per player. So I don't know how many we've got in the stands, but it's probably every person that has a ticket to come watch the game, to be honest with you, because it's a decent number of people here on the Ramblers side of the field. But in any case, we're hoping that'll improve a little going forward. We're going to take one more break here on the McBain Hardware Halftime Show and let you hear from a few of those very fine broadcast partners of ours. 46-6 is your score here at halftime. The Ramblers with the lead over the Evart Wildcats. We'll take a break and be back. Second half action is coming your way right after this.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. You're your family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
SRM Concrete is family owned and all about community. That's why they're supporting this broadcast. SRM Concrete was founded in 1999 with one singular goal: to provide superior ready-mix concrete service for your commercial and residential projects. With locations across northern and central lower Michigan, there's an SRM Concrete near you. From order to on-time delivery, the SRM Concrete team guarantees you'll be thrilled. Quality concrete, unmatched service. That's SRM Concrete.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. 46-6 is our score here at halftime. The Ramblers in control over the Evart Wildcats, and I believe with a 40-point lead, we may see a running clock in the second half. I believe the acronym is TIPS. I think it's timeouts, injuries. I don't know what the P and the S stand for, but that's the only things that will stop the clock, I believe, in the second half, as long as the Ramblers maintain a 35-point margin. And right now they enjoy a 40-point margin. This is the McBain Hardware halftime show. We just had the Bader & Sons GreenTractors.com statistics, although we only had a few of them, as the iPad of Doom has locked Hawkeye out here in the press box. Didn't get to mention during our Pluger Mechanical pregame show, Ramblers are 29-8 all-time versus these Evart Wildcats, and they have a 6-game winning streak going right now in the rivalry. Everett's last win coming in 2013, a 31-28 victory was that. It was the second of back-to-back wins that the Wildcats had there. They also had 3 wins in a row, I believe, back in the mid-90s, but it's been all Ramblers in recent years. There have been some tight battles, and these Wildcats always bring it without question. They are tough, and the battle in the trenches can sometimes get a little chippy between these two schools, but they always play hard, do the Wildcats. as well as the Ramblers. We are at halftime, couple minutes from putting the magical 3 minutes back on the clock that nobody has adequately been able to explain to me why they have to be out on the field by one time and then they get another 3 minutes to continue their warm-up, but that's all right. Not for me to understand, I guess. I want to make sure that we give some love to our broadcast partners. I'm going to run them down for you one more time, if that's okay. Could not do this without them. If you hear one of our broadcast partners and it's a company you're familiar with, maybe you know the owner, maybe you know somebody that works there, please do us a favor. Thank them for allowing us to bring you these broadcasts on a weekly basis. We couldn't do it without them. And we are very, very appreciative that they allow us to bring these games to you. They include Eagles General Store, McBain Auto Service, McNally's Party Store, the Wexford Missaukee Career Tech Center, McBain Lake City Family Pharmacy, SRM Concrete, Classic Chevrolet, McBain Rural Agricultural School, the law offices of Ravi Gurumurthy, West Michigan Credit Union, and the Ina Store. They also include our special event sponsors. L&J Meat Market will bring you the Hawkeye Player of the Game, the most exciting 15 seconds in all of high school sports broadcasting. The Kelly's Pizza and Grill postgame show will be coming up your way. You are listening now to the McBain Hardware halftime show. Our streaming sponsor, McLean Transmission. You can always go over and click on the game logo at 107.9cdy.com and listen to us via YouTube that way. Of course, you heard the Pluger Mechanical pregame show. We're coming to you live from the Northern Truck Service broadcast booth. Every first down that the Hawkeyes are able to, Hawkeyes, every first down the Ramblers are able to pick up is a FEAM first down. The Judy K. Gildy Picture Perfect Play of the Game will be something that's going to be a tough call for Hawkeyes. There's been a lot of great stuff tonight. And then, of course, the Bader & Sons GreenTractor.com scoreboard telling us that it is 46-6 Ramblers. And they'll also have the lineman of the game for us at the conclusion of tonight's broadcast. The magical 3 minutes has been added to the clock by Mr. Coster. Still don't understand where that 3 minutes come from. I think he keeps it in his pocket. I'm not 100% sure. Hawkeye has joined me back in the broadcast booth. How is everything going down with the concessions down there, Hawkeye?
Believe it or not, slow.
Well, that's just a numbers game, right?
That is just a numbers game, yeah.
It is just a numbers game. Still a beautiful night out there. I think Hawkeye left to go check on concessions, not because they needed to be checked on, but because he wanted to get outside. It is a gorgeous night here in McBain.
You know, since we've had this mask order, I've never appreciated the outdoors as much as I have this year.
Right?
There's days, and it's great when you go home and you have a headache and you can go outside and just breathe. And you can sit in the beautiful weather, the air, be out there, watch the football. Speaking of which, we have yet to bring up one of the new rules, the flex player, or according to Mr. Maloney, that's what he calls them, the flex player. Because of the less people playing football, the nature of the beast, programs are starting to actually go to 8-man, and then they're starting to shut down the program altogether. In fact, this summer we were up in the UP, and we were over in Detour, Michigan, and they had a co-op with Cedarville, which was 28 miles away, to put together a single 8-man team. They didn't even have a varsity and a JV. So one of the new rules the MHSAA has come up with is every single player is allowed to play 5 quarters of football. What does that mean is that there are 6 jerseys out there you will not find on the roster, and you're not sure who they are. But what's going to happen is that they can play 1 quarter of the game tonight, or if any chance they sat out a quarter last night, they could play half a game tonight. So they're allowing some JV players to up the numbers a little bit, yet keeping people safe. For example, number 56 over there is Carson Murphy, who is a freshman, been playing on JV. It also gives these kids an advanced feel of what it's like to be on a varsity sideline and to know how the varsity game works. And it looks like we have an injury report. Mac Bonico has taken off his shoulder pads, and they take away his helmet as his knee is all taped up. Mac Bonico is done for the rest of the game.
Carson Murphy looks like he's looking for something on the sideline as well. Murphy, the freshman son of head volleyball coach Sean Murphy. My coaching nemesis.
Carson Murphy has the build of a professional wrestler and the feet of a ballerina.
That's high praise. High praise indeed.
He may have, according to Bonico, and I can't remember his first name now, Coach Bonico, he tells me that actually Carson Murphy has the best feet in the whole school as a lineman.
It's impressive. I'll bet you when he jumps goofy-footed, though.
He does. Mark Bonico, sorry. Give a shout out to Mark Bonico, former Ferris State player. Did you know that he actually turned down a Division I scholarship and he wanted to play for the best team in the nation? Went to Nebraska to try and walk on at the University of Nebraska in the 80s.
Was he able to?
No.
I was going to say that's ambitious. This has been the McBain Hardware halftime show. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Our second half about to get underway. Evart will be kicking off to the Ramblers. It's a low kick, scooped up and taken back up to around the 31-yard line. We'll give it to 32, and that's where the Ramblers will take over. Brock Maloney with the run back for the Ramblers.
32-yard line. First and 10 for McBain.
We got 22 on the sideline now, so we're going to pick the running backs. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Just underway here in the second half. As I mentioned, we do have a running clock with the 40-point margin. I think 35 points is the margin the Ramblers have to maintain to keep this clock running. Full house backfield. Dottie's still at quarterback. Austin Ealing now at running back, and Ealing has the right corner. Ealing at midfield. Ealing at the 30. Ealing with one man to beat, and he will into the end zone. Austin Ealing, a 68-yard touchdown burst up the right sideline, and the Ramblers go up 52-6.
Now, if the caffeinated jackrabbit runs the ball to the touchdown, do we call that a gold rush?
Because of his shoes?
That's right.
Sure. You are in rare form today. Oh, my word. Oh, Hawkeye, this is why everybody asked where you were. I'm telling you. Wow.
He was up dreaming
what
all these
a run.
You got it written on your hand.
He took a week off to the Hall of Famer, accusing Hawkeye of having them written down on his hands. Yes. What a burst from Austin Ealing, who has not been playing much running back tonight. As Hawkeye mentioned earlier, Maloney may be trying to keep him fresh for defense, but in this second half, gets the first touch and takes advantage. 68 yards to the house. And now the Ramblers are going to go for two. You got UTEC, the younger McGillis in the backfield, and they will give it to the younger McGillis, and he will not be able to get into the end zone. So the Wildcats stop the two-point attempt. But the Ramblers now with 11:05 and ticking to go, or will be ticking to go, 52-6 with the lead.
Well, I'm not going to play the school song anymore or announce the score.
This came in from Dr. Steve Preisel. He said that Matt UTEC is the mini J.J. Watt.
There you go. So we have to figure out how to say his name the way they say J.J. Watt's name. J.J. Watt. Now we got to figure something out for UTEC.
Matt Double T UTEC.
Oh my. Austin Ealing, an impressive run to put this one up. And
you know, if Matt raised dairy cows, we could call him Mootek.
Mootek. Well, his first initial last name, that's how you would say it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Should mention also that getting some time in the backfield, Landon Ealing was in the backfield for that two-point conversion attempt.
Number 2, Pierce Johnson, and number...
I think I remember what the S was, scores. So I believe it's timeouts, injuries, penalties, and scores. Maybe that's what the TIPS stands for.
That is it.
There we go. Hall of Famer confirming that I am correct. Tristan McElhenney will put left boot to ball. Sends it up the right sideline again. This one also stays in bounds. This time it is taken up. Boy, staying in bounds somehow, still on his feet, spinning away, is Bryant Calderon. And he will bring it all the way back up.
Kickoff back to about the 30-yard line.
To the 30, I think, is where they're going to mark. They're going to say the 29. They're going to mark this. An impressive run back after picking that ball up back inside his 10-yard line. So with 10:35 to go, Evart will take over, going right to left. Danny Whitbeck, senior quarterback, flips it out. This is for Calderon, and Calderon met and drilled Daniel Rodenbaugh with the clean open field tackle. That is textbook. Yeah, put his shoulder pad into his midsection and drove him to the ground.
I'm thinking I'm going to talk to the guys on the Rambler Review and put that in a clinical video on how to properly tackle someone.
I think that might be appropriate. Basically, no gain. We'll give him a yard because they put the nose of the ball to 30. So second and an extraordinarily long 9. Whitbeck now in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to his left and right. Single back in the backfield. He's going to hand it off. And shedding a couple tackles and moving forward is Cole Hopkins.
The 32.
And Hopkins will pick up a couple. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Advance the ball to the 33-yard line. 3rd down and 6. 15. On the stop, number 7.
9.5 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Running clock situation. Ramblers lead at 52-6. Whitbeck looking to the sideline for the call. Some confusion as to where they need to be. He'll end up with 2 receivers either way. He's got Calderon on the slot to his right. Hopkins steps up to his right. Sends Calderon in motion. Back to throw is Whitbeck. Throwing over the middle. He's got a man wide open. Caught inside the 40-yard line of the Ramblers. And Austin Ewing makes the tackle at the 35. But the catch made by Braden Cass. And it is a first down for the Wildcats. Whitbeck actually kind of underthrew that ball. If he was able to get a little more on it, Hawkeye, I think Cass might have room to run.
Yeah, right now McBain's starting to substitute a lot of bodies into the game as you have Matt Sickema checking in, Dustin McLean checking in. So you're starting to get some players that are rolling into different roles. Ricardo Beguera is now in the game.
Here's a screen pass for Calderon, and he will make it. And we got a late flag coming in after the tackle. Calderon takes it up over the 30-yard line. Flag was thrown.
I'm wondering if they got him for leading with his helmet on the tackle.
It's a hold? Personal foul. Okay. Boy, he makes that signal so quickly. I didn't really get a chance to see it. So it's a personal foul against the Ramblers. Hawkeye could be right.
See, there, I just overheard in the other booth a personal or probable horse collar.
Okay. So that's going to move it up 15 yards from the spot. It'll be just inside the 15, give them the 14-yard line. So it's a 21-yard pickup for the Wildcats. First down with 8:16 and ticking to go here in the 3rd quarter. Whitbeck in the shotgun, 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Whitbeck under pressure, rolls to his right, takes off between the tackles, and now he's going to get dropped inside the 10. And they will mark this here on the 8.
It'll be 2nd down and 4.
2nd and 4 now for
stop number 34. Thank you on the down box.
I talked to him and I said,
I think we have an all Sickema line in there. Is we got twins Alex and Matt on the outside and Jesse in the middle.
2 backs for Whitbeck. He sends a man in motion. And he is hit immediately. Rodenbaugh got penetration straight up the middle. Daniel Rodenbaugh. Whitbeck wanted to fake, I think, to Calderon, Hawkeye, and run that, and Rodenbaugh just met him.
It's going to be 3rd down.
He looked to make the fake, turned back, and there was a green jersey in his face, and down he goes. Loss back to the 13-yard line, loss of 5. It'll be 3rd and 9 now for the Wildcats. Inside 7 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Whitbeck with Hopkins in the backfield. 2 receivers split either way in the shotgun. Whitbeck back to throw. Under pressure again. Dumps it off short. Caught, but on the turf, so he will be down immediately. Can't get up and run it if your knee hits the ground. It's going to bring up 4th down now for Evart, right around the line of scrimmage. We'll call it the 13. It was a complete pass, but no yards gained, and it'll be 4th and 9.
Yeah, on that play right there, what you saw is that they keyed on UTEC, and he was almost a decoy as Landon Ealing came up on the blitz and had a wide open lane to the quarterback and forced that throw before Whitbeck was ready.
UTEC now with 5 receivers. Actually, he's got a wing and 4 receivers in the shotgun. 2 wings. Back to throw, stepping up into the pocket. Now rolling to his right, under pressure, and he's going to get dragged down around the 10-yard line. And so that will turn it over on downs to the Ramblers.
Trying to make a first down.
As Whitbeck picks up a couple, but it is not enough. McBain will take over now. First down at their own 11 with 5:49 and ticking to go here in the third quarter.
Matt UTEC on the sack on that one. Only his 3rd tackle of the game, mysteriously.
No, it's not mysterious. We figured it out, remember?
And it looks like McBain is bringing a new center in, as I believe that's Matt Sikkema. That would be the new snapper for the Ramblers.
So you got Landon Ealing, Matt UTEC, and Austin Ealing in the backfield right now for the Ramblers. Deacon Dottie remains under center. Full house backfield. Dottie will give it to Austin. Austin trying to get the right edge. This time the Wildcats get to the outside before he can. Cut him off, send him back up. And he will take a short gain to the 15. Call it 2nd and 6 now for McBain. Inside 5 minutes to go here in the third.
I'll tell you how quick that Austin Ealing is that not only was he tackled, but he was back up on his feet and back in the backfield before the 3 guys that tackled him had done a push-up position yet.
Well, when you're caffeinated and a jackrabbit, that's what happens.
That is exactly what happens.
Might be the magical shoes he's wearing, too.
The Gold Rush shoes.
Substitution. Cannot see who came out for him. Is that Dustin McLean in the backfield?
Yeah, McLean, UTEC.
Handoff is to UTEC in the middle, and not much there for Matt.
Number 11, Matthew UTEC, the ball carrier.
He is stacked up.
It's going to be 3rd down and 7.
Might have lost a yard. We'll call it 3rd and 7 now for the Ramblers as we hit the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. (52-6), the Ramblers with the lead, and so a running clock here in the third. MHSAA mandating that with the 35-point or more margin, I believe, in the second half. Keep waiting for the Hall of Famer to confirm or correct me. Full house backfield. Dottie, broken play, keeps it himself and comes up short, getting back to the line of scrimmage. Well, he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Quarterback number 2.
To the 14, no gain. Brings up 4th down, and now
It's going to be 4th down.
it would appear that we will see Daniel Rodenbaugh come out for a more traditional punt. Now, will he stay where he does and then back up like he likes to? Is that part of his routine, or will he go back to punt normal?
Yep.
That was not a yes or no question. You're waiting just like I am to see.
I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen McBain punt this season.
Some confusion as to personnel. So now UTEC and Austin Ealing are your gunners. Now he stays in the shotgun basically. Now he'll back up. So he is keeping his normal cadence. 1 step and a booming punt that will be taken just on the other side of the Wildcats. The Wildcats side of the midfield. We got a flag coming in late. That was a shoulder to shoulder. Tough call made there on the Wildcats.
Flag on the field.
Tough to. It's bang bang. Tough call.
Against the Wildcats. Blocking the back.
Really, it's a tough call on the Wildcats because they're down 52-6. And there was a nice run back there, but it's going to come back.
Yeah, but The official was in the right position, made the right call. I mean, he has a better view than even I.
100%.
He can see it even better than I can see it.
Really? Find that hard to believe. No, I don't disagree with you. He was, I mean, from a standpoint of where he was, he's 15 yards away from it, straight down the line. So it's going to take it back into Wildcat territory at their 41-yard line. And that's where Evart will take over. 2:34 as the clock begins again. Whitbeck remains at quarterback.
You got the Sycamore line.
He's got a single wing to his left, two receivers to his left, one to his right. Hopkins steps up on the right side, and now we got a flag. And we have a Rambler in the neutral zone lined up. Put his right hand in the dirt across
the neutral zone against McBain.
From the football.
5 yards marked off. It'll be first down and 5.
I know there's only 3 officials out there, young man, but there is one right on the ball, so that was easy to see. That'll give him 5 yards, take it up to the 46. First and 5 for the Wildcats. 2 receivers to the left, sends Calderon in motion. Calderon lines up in the right slot. And we've got another flag.
Another flag on the field.
And I think we're going to get the 5 back for the Ramblers as a false start. Whitbeck did fake the clap twice that time, where it had been just once previously. I don't know if that messed somebody up. Minute 40 to go and continuing to tick here in the third quarter.
And we've yet to see a trick play.
I did take the under, so I'm still going to win.
Yeah.
Unless they pull 3 out here in the fourth. Whitbeck will hand it off Calderon around the left edge. Calderon trying to get the, nice cut inside. Calderon is free. Up the left sideline. Bryant Calderon at the 30. At the 20, cuts back. And he is dropped at around the 19-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle by Ricardo Vergara. Bryant Calderon
inside the 20.
doing a little his best
Wildcats.
Sanders imitation there, a little juke move 3 different times. Made Rambler defenders miss. It takes it all the way up to the Rambler 20-yard line. Give him the 20. And that is a 39-yard pickup and a first down for the Wildcats. Whitbeck again in the shotgun. Whitbeck is going to take it himself around the left edge, trying to cut back. And the Ramblers do a nice job of sealing off the cutback lane. And now we got 2 late flags coming in, some pushing and shoving in the pile.
There was a Rambler who wasn't happy on that little block as the tackle was down and made his opinion known on the guy that blocked him.
So a personal foul following that run, believe is going to make it first and goal for the Wildcats. It'll be half, it'll be half the distance at the 20. So they should take this up to the 10, I would think. They get the whole thing.
Marked off against the Ramblers. Ball spotted inside the 10-yard line. Looks like about the 8.
Well, I'm going to take it all the way up to the 8-yard line.
For the Wildcats.
First and goal now for Evart. Whitbeck in the shotgun, 2 receivers to his left, Hopkins in the back, 2 to his right. He'll give it to Hopkins, and Hopkins is dragged down in the backfield. Matt Utek coming around the left side of the defensive line, grabs Hopkins from the back and drags him to the ground. There's his 4th tackle. And that is going to do it for 3 quarters of play here in McBain. Ramblers lead at 52-6. But the Wildcats knocking on the door. We'll take a break. Final quarter of action coming your way right after
I'd
this.
like to introduce to you
L&J Meat Market offers fresh, locally raised beef, pork, and chicken, specializing in Misaki-made sausages and jerky. L&J Meat Market is a true family operation headed up by Tim and Sandy Genema. Whether you need a hog roast or fresh brats and burgers for grilling, they're here to serve you. Check out L&J Meat Market, 4 miles south of Lake City on M66, or call 231-839-2176. That's 231-839-2176.
SRM Concrete is family-owned and all about community. That's why they're supporting this broadcast. SRM Concrete was founded in 1999 with one singular goal: to provide superior ready-mix concrete service for your commercial and residential projects. With locations across northern and central lower Michigan, there's an SRM Concrete near you. From order to on-time delivery, the SRM Concrete team guarantees you'll be thrilled. Quality concrete, unmatched service. That's SRM Concrete.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Matt Jackson turning the dials for us back in the studio. I'm trying to make us sound as good as possible. But our descriptions fail when the Ramblers are playing this well. They have a 52-6 lead over the Evart Wildcats. Running clock here in the second half as we get the fourth quarter underway. Wildcats with a 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. Whitbeck will hand it off. Calderon coming around the right edge, and Calderon will go untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Evart.
Number 19, Brian Calderon. Anyway, he was, bemoaning the fact that this kid get his accident right.
We'll see if the Wildcats try the extra point kick again, or if they go for 2.
You are buying these kids toys that will kill them. I said, if you let them go out on the trails, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other guys, and nobody's got brains enough to say, hey, stop, slow down. This is dangerous.
Looks like we're going to get a kick attempt as Reese Ransom comes out, and he'll try the extra point. Not often you have 2 teams with kickers that they trust to kick extra points.
No, not that often at all.
Not this level, not at Division 7 football. Whitbeck is the holder. Good snap, good hold, Ransom, good kick, and the extra point is good. So with 11:54 remaining in the ball game,
Number 12, Danny Whitbeck.
the Wildcats shorten the lead 52-13.
Wildcats 13.
Yeah, the McBain defense, or I guess the Evart offense, has just really looked good the second half. McBain came out that first drive and they took it to the house, and ever since then it's really been all Evart controlling the game, and the running backs just keep on going, and they're quick, and they're hitting the holes, and they're playing with passion, and the scoreboard really doesn't seem to register to them because there's no quit in this Evart team, and you gotta give them a big shout out.
Yeah, it never has been.
No.
Never has been. Evart has always played the Ramblers tough regardless of score.
(34-7), maybe.
Prepare to kick off for the Wildcats, number 63, Reese Ransom. Back deep is number 34, Daniel Rodenball, over number 7, Austin Ely.
Ransom will kick off. Short kick toward the sideline. It's going to go out of bounds. Well, the Ramblers have seen this just from the other side.
Kickoff's out of bounds.
And they will benefit, take over at their own 35. As mentioned, 11:54 remaining in the ball game. Still running clock. TIPS is the acronym that tells you timeouts, injuries, penalties, and scores are the only way the clock stops when the margin.
Because we're not in the super. It's actually down to 40 now, so.
Oh, is it 40 now in this second? I'm being told. Okay.
What is the super?
50 or more.
50 or more.
If it falls below 35, it goes back down.
I thought they just had that penalty and they were waiting to
It is still 35, right, Hawkeye?
Yeah, what they're talking about over there that you're eavesdropping on
50-point more. Yeah, the 50-point margin.
Well, it doesn't stop for anything.
Right.
Oh.
25.
Handoff, as we have a new quarterback as well. Braylon Pace in at quarterback. Handoff. I do not have a 25 on my roster, and neither does the Hall of Famer, so he can't even tell you who that is.
Well, that's a good thing you have me here to tell you about
Thank
Elijah
goodness.
Baker, the running back, number 25, Elijah Baker.
No gain on the play, second down and 10.
So Elijah Baker and the quarterback, Braylon Pace, are both flex players. They played a full JV game yesterday, and that's why they're available for one more quarter, and they're only playing the fourth quarter tonight.
Nice.
Number 25 was the ball carrier, Elijah Baker, on that last play.
Baker brought down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second and 10.
I remember watching Baker last year as a freshman as a speed jet sweep guy against Trevor C. St. Francis.
Flag on the field. Looks like delay of game against McBain.
Ramblers are going to get called here now, flag for delay of game. It's so funny to watch the center for each team pick the ball up and mark it off instead of the official.
Second down and 15.
Second and 15 now for the Ramblers. .12 and ticking to go here in the ball game as Pace under center, full house backfield behind him. We'll hand it off up the middle.
I think that went to UTEC.
Was that UTEC? Yeah, Matt UTEC on the carry.
And it's a turnover.
Loose ball on the play, recovered by the Wildcats.
I guess we had a fumble. There you go. So the Wildcats will take over at the 28 of McBain.
Ball spotted near the 30.
Well, this is just in from the legend. Billy B tells me Calyx up 21-0 with a minute 37 left in their game.
Well, speaking of not having been scored on, Vikings haven't been scored on.
Yeah, but how do they only have a minute 37 left in their game and we've been running clock?
Maybe they started earlier in Gaylord. I don't know. Could be. We have 9:20 remaining in this one. Whitback back to throw. Guns it over the middle and comes up a smidge short, intended for Cole Hopkins. One hopper. Used to be legal in Canadian football. Actually, I think it was only on throws behind the line of scrimmage.
Right. Back, or was it backwards throws?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Backward throws.
No, it had to be forward because the backward throw was just a lateral.
Yeah, but you could bounce it for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not sure what the benefit of bouncing it was. Keep it from being picked off? I'm not sure. Whitbeck in the shotgun, single wing to his left. Sends that man in motion to the right wing's position. I feel like I'm calling hockey. Whitbeck will hand it off. This is Calderon around the right edge. Calderon makes a man miss, lowers the head and drags one guy down. Burst forward, stays in bounds, finally brought down. Alex Sycamore picking up a big chunk of yards. Alex Sycamore, as Hawkeye mentioned, on the tackle.
35. On the stop for McBain, number 35.
And it is going to be a first down for the Wildcats inside the 20. Give them the 19. Give them the 18-yard line.
And it looks like they have blood on a player. So they're gonna.
Calderon?
Yeah, so they're gonna have to clean the blood, and he has to come out for a play.
Wildcats. Ball spotted on the 19-yard line of McBain. He should be.
Pierce Johnson will come in for Calderon. He'll line up in the right slot. So look over to Craven, head coach Pat Craven for the call. Whitbeck in the shotgun. One back to his left. They send another man in motion wing to wing, left to right, as they go left to right across the radio dial. Fakes the handoff. Thrown underneath. And there were three green jerseys that had opportunities at that. It was tipped at the line, went through the hands of one defender, touched the intended Wildcat receiver, and then went just past a Rambler who had fallen down on his backside and almost had a chance to pick it off as well. Unreal.
Pass it to number 14.
Incomplete pass. We'll bring up 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 10 on the 19 of McBain.
Whitbeck again, shotgun. 4 receivers, 2 either way. Hopkins is his back to the left. Sends a man in motion. He'll hand it off to this man in motion. Trying the left edge, now cutting back is Braden Cass, and then Cass finally wrapped up
Braden Cass, the ball carrier.
and dropped Austin Ealing with another big tackle.
Stopped by number 7, Austin Ealing.
They'll mark this at the 17. 1 yard gain. 3rd and 9.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit on that, especially to Elijah Baker on the outside, turning the play back into the middle where he can get some help, and they didn't let Everett get to the edge and get to the sideline.
Whitbeck with Cass in the backfield. Back to throw. Looking right, now rolling to his right. Whitbeck will hold on to it and dropped. That is the hit low, hit high, as he is brought down by a combination of Ricardo Vergara down low and Alex Sikkema up high. Stopped and dropped at around the 14-yard line. Pickup of another 3. It'll be 4th and 6.
35, Alex Sikkema.
As we hit the 6-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. 52-13, Ramblers with the lead.
Wholesale substitution for Everett. So I'm wondering, they're going for the field goal.
Well, why not? I mean, it's the kind of thing that you're going to want to be able to do and make sure that you can do, right? We're going to get a field goal try. They're going to mark this on the 20. This is a 30-yard field goal attempt by Ransom. Good hold. Good kick.
That's good.
It is.
Field goal is good.
A nice field goal. Reese Ransom with the 30-yard field goal. And it cuts the lead to 52-16.
36-point difference. 2 more points and 6 on the clock. Takes off there.
5:27 remaining here in the ball game. 52-16, Ramblers with the lead. We'll take a quick 30-second break, and we will be back right after this.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medication. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
52-16, your score here at McBain High School. The Ramblers all over the Everett Wildcats. 5:27 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna. Matt Jackson turning the dials. Back in the studio, Rich Spicer, no doubt at this point, comfortably asleep in his bed at home because Matt's doing such a nice job. Kickoff by the Wildcats is going to go toward the sideline and out of bounds. As Pat Craven taking a page out of the Pat Maloney kickoff playbook. And the Ramblers are going to get it 1st and 10 at their 36 since it went out before the 35.
Ball is marked at the 37.
Now, I think Craven was actually trying to set up an onside, kind of a goofy onside kick where you try and get past the first level in front of the second level.
Oh, sure.
McBain seems to be short a few offensive linemen, but Connor Murphy's now into the game for the Ramblers.
There we go. I thought we were going to see one of those weird things where you had the center and the quarterback and everybody else is lined up elsewhere. Spread look for the Ramblers as they're going to give Braylon Pace a chance to throw. No, they're not. They're going to hand it off. This is Baker. Baker around the right edge. Baker over the 45, over midfield, and finally brought down Elijah Baker with the great run to the 49-yard line. Now we'll call it midfield.
That's a first down.
That is a 13-yard pickup and another first down for the Ramblers. Brett's not even looking at me. Wow. I even gave that one emphasis, Brett. Jeez. I understand.
Noah Burkholder's now into the game for the Ramblers. Matt Utex, your lone running back.
Right in front of us at midfield. Man in motion. is the younger Ealing, and what a wow.
Number 17, Landon Ealing, the ball carrier.
That was a manly stiff arm by Landon Ealing, excuse me.
That was more like a throat slam from the WWE, the way he got him and laid him back.
Word. That was not fair. Landon Ealing looks taller than Austin. I don't know who's younger or older.
They're not related.
Not at all?
No, I don't believe they are.
All right.
Landon Ealing is, you remember Logan Ealing?
Yeah.
That's his younger brother.
Okay. That makes sense with the L's. And Landon with a little hitch in his giddy up as he lines up to the right side. Baker in motion. Baker takes the handoff. Baker on the right edge. Baker with room to run. Baker over the 40. Baker to the 30. Baker up the sideline and is finally spun around and driven out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Elijah Baker taking full advantage
Looks like that ball's going to be spotted inside
of his time here in the fourth quarter. It's another first down. 3:05 to go.
On the stop, number
Here in the ball game. That ball will be marked at around the 23-yard line. 25-yard pickup for Baker.
Well, I think Maloney might as well stick with his magic recipe. Jet sweep Ealing, jet sweep Baker. Jet sweep Ealing, jet sweep Baker.
All right, well.
That's what I think.
See if the Wildcats heard you. Baker lines up in the left slot. Landon Ealing lines up in the right slot. McLean is the receiver to the near side. They send Baker in motion. Pace will hand it off to his running back, but we have a flag on the play. And I think the Ramblers might have moved before the snap.
Against McBain.
They tried to get fancy. They handed it off to someone else.
Yeah. That never works. 2:23 and ticking now for the Ramblers as Pace gets the call from head coach Pat Maloney. Heads back out. 1st and 15 now from the 28-yard line of the Wildcats. Again, come out in the spread. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Matt Utek is your tailback next to Pace. Pace will give it to Utek, and Utek rudely met in the backfield.
Stopped in the backfield
By Ransom. Boy, Reese Ransom and Tristan McElhenney both showing that kickers can tackle too at the high school level. That was solid. We'll take it back to the 32. Close to 2nd and 20.
Second down.
Minute and a half remaining here in the ball game as it continues to go down. On the edge of a country mile.
A fur
Brett's been listening.
They would say down south.
A fur piece? Yeah.
It's a fur piece.
It is. Back to throw is Pace with time. Over the middle has his man Baker caught inside the 15-yard line. This should be very close. It is. Another first down at the 12 as Elijah Baker reels one in from Braylon Pace for the first down.
Spotted out about the 12-yard line. 1st and 10 for McBain.
McBain only has to run one more play this game.
50 seconds remaining. Yeah, I'll bet you Elijah Baker is lobbying hard to get this handoff.
I think victory formation. No, not exactly.
Pace is under center. Could still be victory formation in the sense that he's going to kneel it. He's waiting for the back judge to raise his arm. Now he's under center. I think he is going to kneel this one, and he will. 25 seconds left on the clock. That's going to do it. That should be the final play of the game. And the Ramblers moved to 2-0 on the young season with a 52-16 victory. A convincing one over the Evart Wildcats. We'll take a break. The Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show is coming your way. Hawkeye will have all the post-game hardware to hand out, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Be FIOM is family, and like football, FIOM is also teamwork. The FIOM team invites you to take a tour of their plant. Drop in any Tuesday through Friday and see how joining the FIOM family is a great move. FIOM has full and part-time positions available on all 3 shifts. Visit FIOM at 1550 Leeson Avenue. FIOM is a proud supporter of this McBain Ramblers broadcast. Go Ramblers! From FIOM Technologies in Cadillac.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Broadcasting from the U.S. Army Studios, this is 107.9 CDY. GoArmy.com.
Parents, if your students want to be college or career ready by the end of high school, CTC is the place to be. I'm Troy from the McBain High School, and the Wexford-Mazaki Career Tech Center is preparing me for the jobs of the future. Students from all over the region can choose up to 14 different career-driven programs, with a free associate's degree available in some programs through the 13th year training. Find out more at WMISD.org at the Career Technical Education League and see why CTC is the place to be.
We've all been there. We rely on our vehicles more than ever to get us where we need to go, safe and sound. McBain Auto Service is open Monday through Friday and are fully licensed and insured to serve you. With over 50 years combined experience, they specialize in everything from brakes to engine repair with no job too big or small. Stop in for a safety inspection. McBain Auto Service, located at 9438 South Maury Road in McBain, or call 231-825-2729.
52-16, your final here at McBain High School as the Ramblers move to 2-0 with the victory over the Evart Wildcats. Evart falls to 0-2 on this short and abbreviated high school football season here in 2020. Jay Simon alongside Gary Hawkeye Vanna, Matt Jackson turning the dials for us back in the studio. This is the Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show. And, well, Hawkeye, another dominating performance, a 30-0 victory last week over Lake City. This time the starting defense gives up just the 1 touchdown early in the first half, and they have looked very good on both sides of the ball through 2 weeks.
Yeah, there was just dominance in all aspects of the game today, and they just showed it on special teams, won the turnover battle big. It's just a really proud performance, and they're just so excited. And it's more about than just being back on the field. They actually have a major goal that they are looking at achieving real soon.
Yeah, absolutely. They put together a good one tonight. A reminder, you're listening to WCDY, McBain, Cadillac, Lake City. A good one tonight, running clock in the second half. 46-6 was the halftime score, and the Ramblers rolled from there. A lot of players getting some significant time. Elijah Baker had himself a heck of a fourth quarter. Number of long runs, a long catch from Braylon Pace as the Ramblers took it down deep inside Wildcat territory just in time to take a knee for the final 35 seconds or so of the game. But an excellent performance by head coach Pat Maloney's young men on both sides of the ball. This is, again, as I mentioned, the Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show. Want to update you, 21-7, your final over on our sister station, 107.1 The Drive. The Cadillac Vikings defeating the Gaylord Blue Devils. They move to 2-0, so Up North Radio LLC here in the north of the 3 radio stations. Doing quite well this early on the young season. Hopefully down at our other sister station, Big Rapids, B103, that Big Rapids Cardinals got a victory tonight. Have not seen a result from that one. I would run down the scoring for you, but I'm going to let Hawkeye, because he's got the iPad of Doom open, give us some Bader and Sons greentractor.com statistics from this one. What I can tell you is it was largely the McGillis and McGillis show.
Well, you would like to say that, but the leading passer for the McBain Ramblers was Deacon Dottie, threw for 86 yards and 2 TDs. We had Austin Ealing lead all rushers with 98 yards and 1 TD, and your top receiver was Dustin McLean with 34 yards receiving. Overall, Calvin McGillis had 76 yards, 3 TDs. Rodenbaugh had 72 yards and a TD. This may be wrong, but fullback Owen Bonico. Elijah Baker had 37 yards with a 12.36 average, but Austin Ealing actually had 24.5 average per carry.
That's what happens when you rush for a 67-yard touchdown.
Deacon Dottie was 7 of 9 passing. Did a fantastic job on that one right there. Touchdowns received by Karsten Hunninga and Brock Maloney on the offensive end. And leading defense, Calvin McGillis had 6 tackles. Matt Utek had 5 tackles. Brant Bonico, Daniel Rodenbaugh, and Landon Ealing each had 4. And 2 turnovers recovered by Derek Camphouse to round out your defensive stand.
There you go, the Bader & Sons greentractors.com statistics for this one. Again, Ramblers win this one 52-16. Led 13-6 after the opening quarter and really dominated the second quarter was where they really pulled away, scoring on all 5 of their possessions. The 2 touchdown throws by Deacon Dottie. Daniel Rodenbaugh with a 1-yard touchdown run. I always want to say Calvin McGillis added his 3rd touchdown run. He had 2 in the first quarter, added a 47-yard touchdown run in the second quarter, and Caden McGillis with a 2-yard touchdown run as the Ramblers opened up a 46-6 lead at the half. As mentioned before, 68-yard touchdown run by Austin Ealing were the final points for the Ramblers. The Wildcats getting a 30-yard field goal from Reese Ransom to close out the scoring to make it 52-16. I just like to mention that because I'm always impressed when anybody can kick anything 30 yards through uprights at the high school level. I can't do it. It's an impressive skill, but Ramblers forcing, as we mentioned, a couple of turnovers. They had the interception as well, and I want to make sure I give credit for that one. Derek Camphouse with the interception. He had a fumble recovery, you said? Or 2 fumble recoveries?
He had a fumble recovery on the kickoff, and then he got an interception on a screenplay.
Yep. That was the impressive one, the one-handed interception on the screen pass attempt. Well, Hawkeye, we've got some post-game hardware that we need to hand out here on the Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show. First and foremost, how about the Bader & Sons greentractors.com lineman of the game?
Well, I'm going to be a little creative in the definition of alignment because I really felt like not where he started off lining up, but where he actually played most of his downs. And I'm going to give the lineman of the game to one Matt Utek. Matt Utek was just a beast on that defensive end, switching sides all the time. They had a 3-man front. He started off at linebacker, and then he would read where the offense is going, and he would force plays to run away from him. The book says he only has 5 tackles, but he spent more time in the backfield than Calderon.
Yeah, no question about that. It was an impressive showing. There you go, Matt Utek, your Bader & Sons greentractors.com lineman/linebacker of the game tonight. How about we move on to the Judy K. Gildy photography picture perfect play of the game? I honestly feel like this might be the toughest one.
Really?
There were a number of great plays. You had the great 68-yard run by Ealing. You had, I'm not going to spoil it because I think I know what it is, but
this is like playing a golf outing and you have 3 guys that drive the ball 250 yards in the middle of the fairway, and then you have the 4th guy come up and blow 325 in the fairway, and you're going to say, well, those 3 were good drives, but did you see that one-handed interception by Derek Camphouse? Really, it was hands down or hand up, if you want to go with the Judy K. Gildy picture-perfect play of the game of a one-hand interception, breaking up a screen play that he over-pursued it and had to drop back and get coverage in, and then he returned it for another 15 yards.
I wanted to make it sound like it's difficult for you. I don't want people to think that this post-game stuff is that easy for you. Come on.
He made that one easy.
He did.
Okay, that was not me. That was all on Derek. He made it easy on the Judy K. Gildy picture-perfect play of the game.
Now you're doing my job. Congratulations, Derek Camphouse, for that one. Again, I want to make sure that we thank our broadcast partners. I mentioned it before. We can't do this without them. They include, as I mentioned before, FIAM, sponsoring our first downs, our streaming sponsor, McLean Transmission, transmission. Our pregame show sponsor, Pluga Mechanical, coming to you live from the Northern Truck Service broadcast booth. Of course, Bader & Sons, greentractor.com gave you the stats, the lineman of the game, and the scoreboard, 52-16, our final here. The McBain Hardware halftime show. We are in the Kelly's Pizza and Grill postgame show. And we will be coming up soon with the Hawkeye L&J Meat Market Player of the Game. We also want to thank the law offices of Ravi Guru Murthy, Ina Store, Classic Chevrolet, McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, West Michigan Credit Union, SRM Concrete, Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, McBain Auto Service, Ebel's General Store, McBain Lake City Family Pharmacy, and McNally's Party Store for their support of McBain Rambler Athletics here on 107.9 CDY, and that brings us to the most exciting 15 seconds in all of broadcasting, that being the L&J Meat Market Hawkeye Player of the Game. You wait all throughout the game for this moment. Everybody is listening with bated breath. Hawkeye, who you got?
Well, really, once again, a lot of good performances out there, a lot of things to really be impressed with. You know, all the running backs really did very well. Austin Ealing had a great game, led the team in rushing. Daniel Rodenbaugh was the warhorse that keeps getting things going. But you know what? There's only one person to give it to, and it's the sophomore, Calvin McGillis. I don't know if you heard the stats that he had, but here are some pretty impressive stuff for Calvin McGillis, as he scored 3 touchdowns on the ground, 8 rushes for 76 yards. And you want to know what the most impressive stat is? 8 for 8 in snapping the extra point. The guy has to run the ball and then turn around and throw it between his legs so someone else gets the glory to put it up. Calvin McGillis does it all. He almost was the lineman of the game because of his snapping abilities, but we given him the the L&J Meat Market Player of the Game.
Well, Calvin, congratulations. I don't know what the incredible prize.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I do.
Thanks to the great people at Culver's, they'll give him a value meal for being the player of the game.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Our friends at Culver's will give him a value meal. Absolutely. Congratulations. Calvin McGillis with bragging rights for a week over brother Caden, as he's got the Hawkeye L&J Meat Market Player of the Game award. Well, Hawkeye, 52-16 victory this week, 30-0 last week over Lake City and Evart. What are your thoughts so far through 2 weeks of play of this Rambler team?
You know, I didn't see this coming. I did not see this dominant performance. I was talking to Mark Bonico, and I was asking him what's going on here, because I really thought Lake City, their JV team, handled McBain as JVers last year. In addition to that, they have been on a 6-game winning streak against us for the varsity level, returning in their starting quarterback from last year. Though they obviously graduated some players, especially, the big, I can't remember his last name now. Luke Collins' grandson.
Yeah.
The boys that all go to Michigan Tech.
Yeah.
Marion,
there you go. Thank you.
Ben Marion graduating. But I told my wife, I said, you know, McBain's going to be hard pressed to keep it within 20 against Lake City. And they beat them by 30. Tonight, my wife says, what's the prediction of the game going to be tonight? And I said, well, McBain should, no, wait, you were so wrong last week. You don't say anything positive about McBain before the game because you're just going to curse them. But the truth is, this team's ready to roll. And you look down the schedule, and every game they will be in, if not favored, from here on out.
Yeah, really. I mean, Manistee, Beale City will obviously be a tough opponent.
In Beale City, the Bermuda Triangle.
But Manistee on the road is going to be tough. Bigger school, bigger pool of players, so that will be interesting. But they've done well against Manistee on the road as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting postseason as well this year, as the MHSAA doing things a little bit differently with this abbreviated 6-game regular season. That's going to do it for us here from McBain High School. 52-16 your final. The Ramblers defeat the Evart Wildcats. For our producer and engineer, Matt Jackson, for Gary Hawkeye Vanna, I'm Jay Simon. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll be back next Friday as the Ramblers go on the road for the first time to take on the Pine River Bucks. You've been listening to McBain Rambler Football on your number one hit music station, 107.9 CDY.
Good night, boys.
This broadcast of McBain Ramblers football on 107.9 CDY has been sponsored by McBain and LC Family Pharmacy, McNally's Party Store, McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, L&J Meat Market, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, Ina Store, McBain Auto Service, Pfluger Mechanical, Ebel's General